Y'all know the drill. Where you from? Where you at? What are you doing? Oh, I got a lot on my mind today because, I try to stay away from some of these subjects that people like to propagate. Whenever they're salty that a fight doesn't work out the way they wanted it to work out. So they start with the usual stuff you see. The scorecard, the stoppage. He needs to fight this guy. He needs to fight that guy. And I'm going to try to keep the conversation a little bit more intimate. I can't get 10 people or 8 people on here at a time because then everybody just ends up trying to talk over each other. It was goody. Sophia was goody. Dora was goody. Steve Ropa was good. WMMA was good. Glass Jaw was good. Illis was good. City of Trees was good. Mr. Locke was good. Leo, all the way in Chile, was good. Daniel, AJJJJ was good. Dennis was good. You know what I'm saying? Liam Rockwell, all the way in Australia, was good. You know what I'm saying? Got a lot on my mind. Got a lot to talk about. Nathan was good. And I guess the first thing that I wanted to talk about that kind of got on my nerves was a comment that was left to me on the last video that I uploaded. And I want to get into that, but I want to get into that with the panel. The scoring of the fight, how some people scored the fight, which I think is it's not open to interpretation. Having your back on the ropes or being pushed into the ropes has never been a good thing. It's never, I don't remember a time when you ever wanted to be there. You can set traps there if you're that kind of boxer, but generally speaking, if your back is to the ropes and the other guy is throwing more than you are, you're not winning the round. You know what I mean? Like, no, you're not winning the round. How are you winning the round if you're not matching the other guy's output? And you're not matching the other guy's output. You're not landing as much as the other guy, and you can't hold the center of the ring. Your back is on the ropes more than the other guy's. How are you winning the round? In what way are you winning the round? Like, what are you doing to win the fight? I saw a lot of comments like the one I'm about to post for you guys right now. I think it was this one. Is it this one? Or is it this one? I had Caleb Plant 6-4 at the time of the stoppage from Mr. Intangible. I'm sure you guys are familiar with Intangible. That's the guy that likes to split hairs over minutia and stupid shit and says a lot of shit just to be edgy, but ultimately comes off like a pompous hipster douchebag. I don't know how you guys had it. I don't know how you guys at home had it. I don't. But myself, shout out to Drew. Drew's in the building. Usual suspects don't know how to score rounds based on all criteria, especially when neither fighter is landing and using other criteria. Quite right. I didn't have Caleb Plant up. I had Canelo up, and I talked about that in my recap video that the most I could give Caleb, being generous, was 3 to 4 rounds and no more, because your back is on the ropes. It's your back on the ropes, and if it's there, it's because you're being put there. You're being put there by Canelo. You're not throwing more than he is. You're not landing more than he is. What you are landing is not landing as hard as what he's landing. You know what I mean? Like, so I want to know, and I want to have this discussion as to how exactly does that equate to winning a round? If you're not throwing more, you're not landing more, you're being pushed around like a log down a stream, how are you winning the round? What are you doing to win the round? And boxing is getting to a point to where a lot of people are just comfortable saying any old dumb shit like this. The version of Alvarez that this person, Chololololo, saw tonight gets stopped by Benavidez and Charlo and Andre. And I'm like, Jamal Charlo, the only guys that Jamal Charlo has stopped in the last, I'll say, 3 years, 3 or 4, have been junior middleweights. Dennis Hogan, who was it? It was Dennis Hogan, and who was the other guy that he stopped? Because this guy hasn't gotten a stoppage in a while, to be honest. Explain ring generalship to these. Yeah, because I'll tell you something. Ring generalship is not getting pushed around. I don't know whose idea it was or how this misconception is so prevalent that ring generalship is getting pushed around. No, if you're being pushed around, the guy pushing you around, that's the ring general because he's pushing you around. Why would you be the ring general if you're being pushed around? If you can't hold the center of the ring, if you can't just spin off those ropes and get back to the center of the ring, then how are you the ring general? In what way? That didn't look like a Caleb Plant fight to me. Yeah, I mean, that looked like a Canelo Alvarez fight. Low key, that shit looked like Canelo versus Smith. The difference is Smith finished the fight on his feet. The guy that the usual suspects were hyping up, he finished the fight on his ass. But this is the guy that's supposed to be better than Callum Smith. I saw more of the Saunders fight at the center of the ring than I saw the Plant fight. Most of the Plant fight, Plant was on the ropes. And look, I'm not knocking him. I don't think he's a bad fighter, but it's Canelo, and then there's everybody else. There's Canelo, and then there's everybody else. It's that simple. And if you think you're going to fiddle your way to a victory, fiddle and feint and throw a little jab here and a little thing there, you're just going to do this bullshit all night while you're getting pushed in the... Yo, you're not winning the fight. In what fucking way are you winning the fight? He's landing more than you are, harder than you are. He's pushing you around. You're not pushing him around. But I had Caleb up. I had Caleb up. I can't even begin with some of these motherfuckers. Like this is my favorite. This guy is my favorite because this is one of these guys that argues the dumbest fucking shit known to man just to be edgy. And you can tell that's what he's doing. He's doing it just to be edgy. They said his shoulder roll was Floyd and Tony-esque, which is, yo, I swear to God, Drew, I said that, like, yo, this dude, think about it. When Canelo Alvarez caught him with that left hook, the first one that stunned him towards the end of the fight, he was trying to roll punches off the shoulder. And what have I been saying for months? His shoulder roll is trash because he'll try to roll the punch and he'll still get hit on the top of the head. And where did Canelo hit him? On the top of the fucking head. But I'm like, yeah, you know what I mean? I had Plant up. Like, I'm like, yo, dog, like, I can't with these guys. I can't with these guys. And I'm like, yo, I'm seeing so much of this, and this isn't even all of it. There is so much to unpack that I want to have a conversation with the panel, but I'm not going to get 8 and 9 and 10 guys up here. Let me just get that right out. I can't get 8 and 9 guys out on the panel. It's going to be too many people that are waiting to talk. I'm probably going to keep it at 4, maybe 5, the most. And it's like, yo, dog, like where to begin? Where to begin? So I'm going to open this up to the panel. Plant's roll left his whole body exposed. Well, I'm going to say this much about his roll. He did a good job protecting his midsection, which is why a lot of the body shots were deflected. A lot of the body shots were caught on the arm, so I give him that much. But in protecting his body so much, he wasn't protecting this. So it's either or, head, body, head, body. If you're going to protect your body that much, all right, well, I got your head I could punch. And Canelo's good enough that he can knock the guy out. So I'm going to open this up to the panel. Let's get the link ready, gentlemen. Good, because I haven't even touched on why we're here tonight. I haven't even gotten to the juicy stuff, the meaty parts of the conversation. Let's wait for the panel to populate. There was a comment that was left to me. Appreciate that, Ronnie. Look here, Plant was going live and die in the shell. Bro, that shell wasn't shit, and I said that, Ronnie. Matter of fact, you should join the panel because you don't normally join the panel. You should join the panel. I said this shit about shoulder roll. A lot of guys see anybody fighting in a shell guard and think, oh, well, he's a defensive wizard just because he's in a fucking shell. And they're not really looking at, okay, what punches are getting through, what punches are not getting through. And after every Caleb Plant fight I've seen in recent memory, his face is still marked up. And they'll say, oh, well, he just has that kind of skin. No, it's not that he has that kind of skin. It's that he's getting hit. He's in a shell guard, but he's still getting hit. So what does that tell you about his guard? You know what I mean? Like, it's not, none of this is complicated, a complex. It's none of it, right? If you in a shell guard and I still see cuts and scrapes and all that shit all up here, that means, your shell ain't shit. Because there's a lot of guys that use the shell. They don't be looking like Caleb after every fight. Now, Drew, I want you to read this. I want you to look at your screen, right? Look at your screen, and I want you to read this.
Hold on, okay. Can't ignore it.
No, read it out loud, bro. Read it out loud. I need you to read it out loud.
Can't ignore the elephant in the room anymore. Of no cojones duck Canelo. Not fighting and being dismissive of undefeated African-American champs such as Boogeyman Andrade for damn near a shameful decade at 154, fake 155, and most recently for undisputed middleweight king at 160 is not something that's just going to just ever go away. If he wants the ultimate respect, he needs to do that before it's too late, and us real boxing fans all miss out on a great fight of Canelo versus Andre, or he will forever dogs. Fucking dudes can't fucking write, illiterate fucks.
Illiterate fucks.
And have an asterisk next to his name. I hold all great champions to that. The super chat's in the way.
Okay, hold on. Let me read the super chat, then I'll let you finish it off. Julius, you look lame when you talk about women's boxing. When Johnny Boy is out here talking UFC, you can't be an OG and talk about women's boxing, G. And to that I'll say, I have more subscribers than Johnny. I regularly get more views than Johnny talking about women's boxing. So Johnny shouldn't be, I don't need to take cues from Johnny. Johnny needs to take cues
Hey,
from
Johnny,
me.
Thanks for paying to talk shit. Appreciate it.
Yeah, like
Who's
really,
Johnny?
like, yeah, like, look, I made a video about Clarissa Shields versus Layla Ali that has more views than any video on Johnny's channel. The fuck do I need to take cues from him? Now finish
Johnny
this
Boy?
off. Johnny Boy is a white guy that lives in Chicago that can't decide whether he's a neo-Nazi or a soprano. That's who Johnny is.
Okay.
He's worse than the MMA guy.
I mean, like, he literally can't decide if he's Marky Mark in Four Brothers or if he's Ed Norton or if he's Ed Norton in American History X. He can't decide. One minute he wants to be a gangster, an Italian mobster. The next minute he wants to be a neo-Nazi. I'll let him decide. He's a young guy. I don't know. Finish us off with the rest of the comment.
I hold all great champions to that standard and not just Canelo, fighting all of the best undefeated champs out there and not just ones they prefer for an easy touch. Hopefully it happens before it's all said and done, or it will be a major disappointment that will always be talked about.
Now, why
Fucking
is
guys.
it? No. Let me get to it because I already feel my stomach bubbling, right? Why is Jermall Charlo not held to that standard? Why is Demetrius Andre not held to that standard? Because by my count, Canelo Alvarez has fought more African-American middleweight champions than the both of them. They haven't fought any. They haven't fought each other. Neither one of them fought Daniel Jacobs when he had the IBF. Canelo did. Daniel Jacobs, who has a better resume, right? And I got nothing against those guys, right? I got nothing against them, but I got to call a spade a spade. Daniel has a better resume than both of them. He beat Caleb Truax when he was undefeated. He beat Peter Quillen when he was undefeated. He beat Sergey Dedevianchenko when he was undefeated. Before Canelo Alvarez, right, before Triple G fought Canelo, Daniel Jacobs gave him his hardest fight. So that all of a sudden, Daniel ain't shit, and it's about Jermall, and it's about Dimitri. It's like, no, I won't allow it. I won't allow it. You can talk that kind of ignorant, stupid shit somewhere else, but not here, because if you do it here, we're going to point it out and we're going to embarrass you. Drew, start us off.
It's just hilarious to see everything that we knew was going to happen. Like the delusion to even put an incoherent sentence like that together. And like, bro, like that dude probably didn't even buy the fight, Jules.
I mean, no, my main thing is this, right? A lot of guys want to come on boxing channels and have non-boxing conversations because a conversation like that, I don't look at that as a boxing conversation.
It's not a boxing conversation.
Because if we talk about boxing, okay, Daniel Jacobs has a better resume than Demetrius Andrade. That's a fact. He has a better resume than Jermall Charlo. The best middleweight victory that Jermall Charlo ever had, is a guy that Daniel beat way before Jermall, Sergey. Except when Daniel fought Sergey, he was undefeated. And
not coming off a loss.
And not coming off a loss and not coming off of inactivity. And Jacobs, unlike Jermall, he dropped Sergey. Jermall didn't drop Sergey.
And to champ that back, it's not a boxing conversation because if you look at all the champions Canelo fought, he's fought more than them dudes.
Talk about it.
If you're holding them to a standard, like, okay, that's how you know they don't watch boxing.
Now I'm gonna pass it around. I want to go to Ronnie because Ronnie doesn't normally come on the channel, but Ronnie's my guy. Ronnie, what do you think about it?
Slim's in the building.
Yeah, you already know, Slim. Can y'all hear me?
Slim, that Joker's in the building.
I can hear you. Talk about it.
Well, everybody know I'm a huge Maul Charlo fan, right? But Jules, who keep it the realest when it come to Maul Charlo?
You.
Exactly. I know he's handcuffed, but at the end of the day, you got, if you really break it down, Cinnamon have a better, let's say, black scalp than all of them. Who even more best scalp haven't even aged well. Who was that? J-Rock.
Thank you. Because I was just about to
get his best scalp didn't even age well. And like I said, I'm a huge Maul Charlo, and it's gonna be what it's gonna be. But at the end of the day, you gotta look at that man resume. You go to Austin Trout, who scalped another black fighter than a better black fighter than Austin Trout. We can go down the list.
Like what I'm gonna say.
And to add to that, like, where do most of the black fighters go with? Al Heyman.
Now let me say this. This is what I'm gonna say, because it's not just fighting him, it's also when he fought him. When he fought Austin Trout, Austin Trout is not a guy that you just at that time, he just beat Cotto. Remember everybody, like, did everybody forget Trout beat Cotto and then Canelo fought him? So it wasn't like he was a journeyman or it wasn't like the Kirkland fight. Like, I don't really give Canelo props for the Kirkland fight because Kirkland he didn't have Van Wolf. He hadn't fought in a while. But when he fought Trout was coming off a career best win.
Yep. And my whole thing is, man, this is just a trend in boxing. And I said the worst thing ever is when Uncle Al put free boxing on Fox, bro. I swear to God, because you got a whole influx of these so-called boxing fans. They're not boxing fans. You see what I'm saying? It's like they just jumping on a trend and they just started looking at boxing in 2018. That's literally when their starting point is. And then they run in with a narrative that's not even real. And then when you flip it on their so-called favorite boxer, well, it's different with him.
I mean, my main thing is this. First, let me read the super chats because they're piling up. Even the block punches were having an effect. I do agree. When Canelo would go for the left hook to the body, even though Caleb's arm was there to block it, it still looked like it was taking something out of him. Jesse Quesada says, fuck Fight Hub, Ray Flores, BT announcers, Andre Ward, LDBC, YouTube platform, and boxers trying to discredit Canelo's accomplishments. Canelo versus Triple G / Darrell. We got another one. I guess Plant lost honorary. All right. Like one thing for me, it's like I think about it. Both the Charlo brothers. Junior middleweight champions. They were junior middleweight champions. Canelo was a junior middleweight champion, but Canelo fought Lara at a time where you don't fight Lara. You don't fight Lara. Why the fuck would you want to fight Lara? There's no money in it. But he fucking fought Lara. Did Maul fight Lara? Did Mel fight Lara?
Nah, and
did Andre fight Lara? But we're gonna put it on Canelo to do everything, right?
And I didn't even bring up Lara because he gets a pass because they somewhat was in the same camp. But that's old and done with now. Maul need to be fighting Lara.
Now, Ronnie, this is why I don't give him a pass. Andre Rosier was training both Daniel Jacobs and Sergey Didivianchenko, and they
Right.
still fucking fought.
Yeah,
They still
but
fucking fought.
that expiration date is over. That's why they should be fighting them now. That's all I was saying. Like when you said it in there, I can give them. I was like, some guys do it, some guys don't. So it's a 50-50 thing. But we don't even have to use Lara. So we can even omit Lara out of this. We can just stick to Trout, and we can just stick to goddamn Jacobs. We can omit Lara. I mean, omit him for right now.
Yeah,
We don't
yeah,
even
like
have to use him.
Like,
We don't even have to use him.
like we don't like at the end of the day, we don't have to use Lara. But the reason I followed the whole junior middleweight cycle, the last cycle, and this cycle that's coming up, and I'm like, look, I seen when Lara left Ronnie Shields. I seen when Mel, I think it was Mel, he left Ronnie. I believe it was Mel that left Ronnie. And I'm like, yo, dog, Canelo fought prime Lara that you don't want to fight. Like, why the fuck would anybody have wanted to fight Lara at that time? He fought Lara. He fought Trout. He fought Jacobs. But I'm supposed to hold Canelo to this wild ass, goofy fucking standard, and Jamal get to fight Juan Montiel. I'm gonna give y'all a hot take because a lot of people not gonna like me for this. Demetrius Andre gives Canelo a harder fight than Jamal Charlo. Jamal gets knocked out, and I'm like real confident. I'm being real. I'm real confident that like, yo, that dude. Why? Because Maul gonna try to land hard. He gonna try to land hard, and he gonna get caught. Now, Caleb was happy surviving. Like y'all seen that he was like, I really respect your skills while he's moving around the ring. I really respect your skill. The audio was out there. Like, do you like my skills? Do you want me to braid your hair after we done with the fight? You know what I mean? He wasn't trying to take it to Canelo. In other words, Jamal will try to take it to Canelo, but because he's gonna try, he's gonna get knocked out. Once you open up and you leave that stuff open for them counters, yeah, he's gonna knock you out. And I'm confident he'll knock out Charlo before. He'll knock out Charlo in less time than it took him to knock out Plant. Demetrius gives him a harder fight because Demetrius is tall, right? Yeah, he's tall, and he's a southpaw. Different fight.
What you just said, Jules.
You think
Go ahead, Ronnie.
Jamal makes it past round? You think Jamal makes it past round 6?
I would say the round I think it happens in is 7-8. He's not that good. I'm being honest. He's not that. I've watched him for years, bro, and I've maintained Mel is my guy. Maul, and Williams and what else?
Yeah, but see,
I was at that Williams fight at USC. How many years ago was that?
Bro, that was like 5 years ago or 4.
That was 2015.
Bro. Like, to me, look at Mel's resume. And that's why I got nothing but nice things to say. Look, motherfucking Lubin, right? To me, Lubin and Julian Williams, same kind of victory, right? Unproven contender. But still, Lubin was good. Jackson was good. To me, I give him credit for the Harrison victory.
Mel have a savage resume, man.
Mel's resume is on point. Moles is not. Like, no, bro. If Triple G sat here and went 12 rounds with Juan Montiel, what would people say?
Yeah, I mean,
but keep it real, Ronnie. If he went, I'm gonna let you go, Ronnie. No, go, Ronnie, and I'm gonna pass it to Leo.
And like I said, I'm the resident Charlo fan, but I'm a realist. I think the game is different. I think they not, and I'm a stand by. They not groomed to beat Cinnamon. They literally right now they're all groomed to just get cashed out. That's just what it is.
Yeah.
Now go ahead, Leo.
Look, like when we're talking about Canelo versus Lara, Canelo versus fighting Lara is like Munguia going from 154 to 160 to fight Billy Sanders when Billy Sanders was there.
Yeah.
For him, doing that doesn't make any sense because Billy Joe Sanders, with his experience and his skill, could upset him at that time. That's the kind of fight that Canelo fought.
And if you think about Lara, I think about the Lara fight because we don't see, like, to me, I kind of look at who Lara was at that time as Boots. kind of here today. They're like, yo, why would anybody fight Boots? You see what he can do, and there's not a lot of money in it. You know, Canelo is the one who's going to bring the money to this shit because there's not a lot of money in it. There's just a lot of risks. A motherfucker today would not just fight Boots. Back then, I remember, motherfucker back, like, nah, you not just going to fight Lara to be like, why are you fighting Lara? Right? And I think about a victory like that because it was a close victory, but I viewed it as a victory for the same reason that I scored Valdez Conceição the way I scored it. You cannot let the guy chase you, put your back on the ropes, throw more than you. Like, no, you're gonna lose. Like, I don't get like all that. No, he's outboxing him. He's missing. No, you're losing. You know what I mean? Like, I don't know what fucking planet these motherfuckers is on. But if you're getting chased, your back is on the ropes. He's throwing more than you are. Remember. Even if he's throwing more than you are and missing, he's still throwing. You're not. Yeah. You're losing.
Slim, I had that fight.
Question about
two rounds.
Hold on, let Ronnie finish the question.
I had Plant 2 rounds. In the first 6, I had him winning 2 rounds, 3 at best, if you want to give him 3. And I mean, I'm gonna go back to the Billy Joe Saunders. I was like, by the time that 6th round got around to the Billy Joe Saunders, that was 57. That was a 3-3 fight.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? I'm like, and I told people, I was like, man, Plant was not, they at this point, man, they just grooming bad product just to put motherfuckers on a big stage, man. And you know who everybody is not talking about in this 168 thing?
Who?
What's going on with David Morrell? How come nobody's talking about Maul versus David Morrell or Benavidez versus David Morrell?
You know what's going to happen if they we need to have that and I'm gonna have that conversation. Let Aunt Mugga chime in on this. Aunt Mugga, you hear what we're talking about? What do you make of the situation?
I ain't gonna hold you. I kind of disagree with y'all a little bit. At least when it comes to the fight, I thought Plant did pretty good. I mean, I had it pretty close at the time he got knocked out. You mean? So I kind of disagree with y'all there, to be honest with you. But I wasn't one of them people that was like, yo, Plant beat, I heard people saying like 8 rounds and all this other. I ain't seen none of that, but I thought it was closer than what y'all saying. I thought he did better than Billy Joe.
I can't agree. I can't. First, let me read the super chats, then we can have that conversation. Ken Canelo should fight Triple G Darrell next to Soft Touch. Let Benavidez, Jamal, Andre, Better Bivol Smith, and Zerto square away their divisions. I agree with you on light heavyweight, Jesse. It's time for them to have them fucking fights because to me, it's kind of ridiculous. They're like, yo, everybody throughout 2 weight classes or 3 weight classes is waiting on one fucking guy, and to me that's for like, nah, y'all need to fight. Y'all need, especially at 175, because y'all been divided for the last 2-3 years. Y'all been divided. There's been like 2-3 champions. It needs to happen. Dead 3440 says, I thought Plant did well early, but faded in the middle rounds and survived till Canelo set up the left hook, right uppercut. What I'm gonna say about how I scored the fight, right? All right. And if you go back to what I said this week ahead of the fight, I said Plant gonna look good early, and I think he'll take 3 of the first 5 rounds, and I have it that way. That is how I have it. By round 4, I had it. I think I had it 3-1, right? But the reason that I couldn't give him more than 3 or 4 rounds, the reason I couldn't is because you're not throwing more, you're not landing more. You're getting pushed around by a dude that's 5'8", and it's very noticeable. Like, I think most people don't pay attention to where the fighters are in the ring and how they got there. And that's how I interpret ring generalship. Not just the aesthetic of the fight, but where are they fighting, and how did they get there? And if your back ends up on the ropes, you were put there because characteristically, you don't want to be there. You don't want to be in the corner. You don't want to have your back on the ropes. You want to be center ring, controlling the action, especially if you're supposed to be the pure boxer like Caleb. I don't think he did better than Billy because Billy kept the fight in the center of the ring, and you can go back and see that. He kept it in the center of the ring with his feet. That's how you know that Canelo wasn't pushing him around like a log. Whereas with Caleb, the bell will ring, and 5-10 seconds into the goddamn round, where's Caleb's back? It's on the ropes. Like, bro, you getting pushed around.
And it goes back to the point, Jules. Like, motherfuckers don't know how to score rounds when you're not throwing when both fighters not throwing punches. There's still criteria to score a round on how the footwork's moving, who's doing what, who's dictating pace, where's the person who's retreating, who's initiating.
But we forgetting one big thing though. We all forgetting one big thing that we not even touching it. It's not even the reason why I had the fight scored the way I had it is because Cinnamon was landing the crucial body shots, and that's what everybody's forgetting.
I'm gonna say this.
Well, those
right?
body shots always score more than jabs.
And that's my point. And that's how I had Cinnamon up so high on the scorecard because he was landing them body shots, and Caleb felt them joints because his elbow was at his ribs.
If you go back and look at the fight, you see he was already welted up on his left side from the roll.
Yeah,
Canelo was
exactly.
sneaking that body shot around on his back.
And everybody worried about, oh well, he didn't get hit in the head. Oh, fuck that head. He was getting tore up in that body.
And the other thing for me is, let's say you got a round, because there were rounds like this last night where Canelo's not getting through with clean shots, but Caleb's not throwing that much. So in a round like that, who do you give it to? You give it to the guy that's throwing. You don't give it to the guy that's not throwing. Like, I'm gonna tell you, the main thing you got to look at in a round is who's throwing and who's landing. Everything else is secondary. Literally everything. If Canelo's
you
throwing
go by
more,
like exactly, Jules. If both guys are landing clean shots, okay, who landed more? If both are not, okay, who's initiating more?
Exactly. Thank you, because it's not hard. Like, that's why I had Conceição Valdez the way I had it. I said in the first half, Conceição was taking it to Valdez. His back wasn't on them ropes. He was jabbing and stepping in. But in the second half, what'd he do? He pity-patting and fiddling, and he's moving alongside the ropes, and his back is on the ropes. I'm like, dog, like, how do you think? What about that shows that he's winning the fight? What about that is show? Like, what? You can't win a round doing that. And I've always maintained that because of the Mayweather era, Floyd is the only guy I know that could win a round doing that. But it's because he lands so clean, you don't have to look for it. I don't got to squint. I don't got to put my eyes all up on the TV to see that he landed a punch. Floyd could do that. You know what I mean? Yeah, Floyd. And it's a lot of guys that want to be Floyd, that they try that shit and end up losing rounds. And the audience is thinking, oh, but he did the shit that Floyd. No, he didn't. No, he didn't. It's a big misconception in this era of boxing that you could spend that much time on the ropes and you're not losing a round. You wildin'. You wildin'.
Crazy.
I mean, it's a dang. Y'all said so much. It was a couple things like, all right. I know with Billy Joe, for one, they had a bigger ring, a way bigger ring. So that's the difference right there.
But Billy Joe still
and
chose to go to the center of that ring.
And that's my point. That's the point. It benefited him.
Right, and it probably did. But he was getting, to me, his defense wasn't as tight. Like,
it wasn't as tight.
He was. What's up?
It wasn't as tight, but that's not what it was. Billy Joe was landing way cleaner shots than Plant was. Way cleaner.
Yes.
I remember like one or two flurries. I was like, okay, boom. Like when Billy put his hands down, he started filling.
Go look at. I re-looked at the Billy Joe Saunders fight immediately after the Plant fight to make sure when I come in and start talking about this shit, I wasn't lunching. Re-look at it, man. Billy Joe did his thing when he fought his fight.
I'm gonna tell you what Billy did that Caleb didn't do, right? And I'm being 100% honest. Billy tried to win. Caleb tried to survive.
Thank you, Billy. At least there was one moment where Billy at least tried to plant his feet. And let me see if I could beat this motherfucker.
Hold on. One at a time. Now, I'm gonna pass it to you after I say this, Ant. The reason Billy tried to win, and it's easy to interpret, it's easy to see. It's not just that he landed punches, even though that's important. The fight wasn't at the center of the fight was at the center of the ring, or a good amount of the time they were in the center of the ring. Billy didn't start off rounds letting Canelo back him into the ropes. Like, nah, I'm gonna spin off of that. I'm gonna pivot off of that. Like, you're not just gonna push me around. Caleb would start rounds. There was a lull, like a 30-second lull of Caleb pacing back and forth, not throwing a punch. Canelo sat on the ropes for this man. Like, yo, I'm gonna sit on the ropes for you, B. Come on, throw. And he didn't even want to throw. This is shit that loses you around. You got to be fighting. You're not there to defend yourself. You're there to win. And the misconception is that defense comes above all else. No, it ain't. We didn't come here to see you block punches. We actually came here to see you throw punches. And he is throwing more than you.
How y'all doing? It's good to be here. And Ring, I know why you kept me backstage because you know I disagree.
Nah, it's not because of that. It's because it's too many. It's 7 people up here. And when it's too many people try to talk over each other. Be too much shit going on in the background. Now go ahead. Hold on. It's Ant's turn. It's Ant's turn.
I don't know, man. I just don't see what you mean. Like I felt like Caleb's defense was tight. He might have been getting backed up, but that was his plan. Like he was just trying to box and counter and hit him with clean shots when he could, but make sure that his defense is tight so he don't get knocked the fuck out. He eventually got knocked the fuck out, but it's when he slowed down, which most of us expected when he would gas out a little bit and he would slow down, he would start getting caught more, which he did. But in the beginning, to me, his defense was tight. He was hitting Canelo with clean shots. Canelo was getting frustrated. And even Canelo, I don't know if y'all watched it with the sound off, but as time went on, like his Eddie Reynoso was saying shit to him like, yo, hold up, bro. Like he's not fucking with you. Like, what are you doing? Like he was trying to motivate Canelo. Like that doesn't sound like a corner who feels like this guy's got it all in control. Because he was telling him like, yo, what are you doing? Like he's not better than you. Why are you not? Like I feel like Canelo started to get frustrated, and you could see it. And maybe he was frustrated because he wasn't going toe to toe the whole way through and all that. I get it, but at the end of the day, he was frustrated because he wasn't landed as much as he wanted to land, and his corner saw that.
Now, my counter argument, right, is that never mind me, because I'm not the one that decides who wins and loses the fight. I'm only looking at the fight and trying to figure out how the judges have it and why they have it that way. So I wasn't surprised that all 3 judges had Canelo well ahead. CBS Sports had Canelo well ahead. A lot of the fighters had Canelo well ahead, because if your game plan is all about, I'm not going to get knocked out. That's your game plan? I think you came to lose. You came to not get knocked out, and you ended up getting knocked out, but that's your plan. I'm not going to get knocked. Your plan is not, I'm going to take it to Canelo and show the world that I'm better than him. That's not your plan. Your plan is I'm going to shell up, and I'm going to try to not get knocked out.
I'm going to try to land the cleaner shot in a round. Here's the thing. We're so used to Canelo beating everybody up. There's only 2 guys that ever dominated him in a fight. That's Floyd and Triple G in the first fight. That clearly beat him. Clearly it showed that they're controlling the fight. They're dictating the pace to him. Not one time in them fucking 11 rounds did Caleb ever do that at all.
To the point that Drew just made, why did I have Canelo losing the first Triple G fight? Whose back was on the ropes? Canelo. Who was giving up real estate as soon as the round started? Canelo. Who was throwing more punches? Triple G. Who ended up landing more punches? Triple G. It's like it's not hard to interpret a round. But the idea that you go ahead.
Can I give a counter argument? My thing is, you said earlier, and I agree with what you said, Ring. You said when you look at a fight, these are the 2 most important things you're looking for: who's throwing and who's landing. My thing was, when I looked at that fight, I already knew what the game plan for what plan was going to be when it came to Canelo. Now, we remember when you said, hey, this guy is not throwing near enough. I don't know if you remember when they showed the actual punch stats when it came up to Canelo and Plant. They actually showed that their punch stats was around the same at one point when it came up to like the 7th round. It's just that Plant was not throwing enough power punches. He was just mostly throwing jabs. And my thing was, his game plan wasn't as bad until I think he found out the 3rd, 4th round, like, hey, this guy hits a little too hard. That's when his eye got cut. And then he started to get into he started to, like, of course, negatively, he started to think that, hey, I have to just tie this guy up and just avoid this guy hitting me instead of throwing more counters, which he started doing. That's why it was a lot of lows in the fight where Caleb Plant was just trying to survive. And I don't think it was so much that Caleb Plant was just trying to survive. I think he did have a game plan. At a certain point in the fight, his counter started to get better. His combination started to get better.
And
But
I
eventually,
disagree. I disagree because whenever Caleb let his hands go, he's not committing to the shots. They're flurries. They're not even like you can see that he's not committing to the shot. Like when me and Eson was talking, shout out to Eson, I told him, yo, Caleb just threw a 5-punch combination and only one landed, the one at the end. Right?
you talking about when Canelo walked off like it didn't phase him?
This was
It was in the
towards
late round. Yeah,
I
like it was
know
late
exactly
round.
what joint you talking
He threw a
about.
flurry and then Caleb Plant.
That little quick
And
shit.
that little
yeah,
quick,
and
I'm
then
like,
I think
oh, that's some bullshit.
and me personally, I think that was.
Hold on. It was a lot of that, like that. I'm looking at it like Canelo's coming forward in a high guard. I'm looking at his neck because I can't see his head because both gloves is around his head. So when that's going on, I'm gonna look at the back of his neck to see if it moved, to see if a jab got through. It's not moving. The shots is on the gloves. So all that little pity, like no, bro, that shit don't work.
I just know it's certain people that fight like that and do very good success. My thing was he was having better success than he was in the earlier rounds because his counter started landing more effectively. You seen when he started rolling Canelo's overhand rights and come back with his own right. You seen Canelo stopping his tracks at one point and be like, oh, hold up, I gotta
This is what I
stop.
saw. I don't disagree with you, Battle. The overhand right was not finding a home, but you know what was? The left hook to the solar plexus, and you was eating those. You was eating those.
And the right hand to the body. Did you see how red
I
Plant's
seen that. This is
body
my
was?
Canelo Alvarez will get him on the ropes. Canelo will get him on the ropes, and he'll try for the right, and Caleb will ride the shot. It won't land clean. But right behind the right comes the left hook to the body, right hook to the to like not really his stomach per se, but around him, around the elbow. It's like, and this is what I'm saying. You're not throwing shots like that at Canelo. He's throwing shots to knock you out, and some of them are finding a home. You are not throwing those kinds of shots at all. You're not on your front foot, in other words. You're not stepping into your jab. You backing up and jabbing or moving to the side and jabbing. And that tells me all you're here to do is fight him off, but you're not here to beat him.
Yeah, no, it was evident from when Plant was in his feelings after the weigh-in, talking down to the fans, and he did not at any point in that fight did he say, "This is my moment of glory. This is where I become a legend. Let me bottom my motherfucking mouthpiece and let me go toe to toe with this motherfucker to get his respect." He did not do that at all, and that's what we watch boxing for. That's what we watch fighting for at the end of the day, to see those moments of glory. Not no pity pat shit. Not no point to win. This is my biggest shot to take the crown. What am I gonna fucking do? And he didn't do shit.
Now let me read the super chats because they're piling up again. Andrade and Maul better get to work soon. The jig is almost up for them. Yanni Beck is coming soon. They won't have anywhere to hide. This is what I'm gonna say. I believe that Jamal probably gets the fight next year. Yanni Beck is at Demetrius Andrade's door. I don't think the fight happens, to be honest with you. I don't think it happens, Liam. It's too dangerous, and there's just not enough money in that fight. And it'll be at least a year before it gets ordered because Liam Williams was a mandatory. So Demetrius doesn't owe a mandatory anytime soon. James Jackson says Canelo was getting hit less than Plant. Look, Ebony Bridges said the shit, right? I don't know if y'all follow her, but she said it. High guard, slight slip. That's defense for a pressure fighter. So where people think that like Caleb is landing these no, he's not, bro. They're getting slipped. If they ain't getting slipped, they're getting parried. I'm like, this is what I mean. Like, so when I saw the judges' scorecards, like, I'm not surprised, bro. You don't win fights doing that shit. I'm sorry. This is championship.
You don't win
boxing.
big pay-per-view fights with that bullshit.
You don't,
Floyd.
Can I respond to
doing that shit.
Especially when you the B side.
Can I respond to Homeboy's super chat, the one before James? Okay, he said the jig is almost up for Demetrius Andrade and Maul. I think it already is, because why did Maul call out Canelo again after all these years? Like, I mean, like you kind of see where he's going with this. I think his options are very limited. because of the fact that there's not going to be anybody else for him to fight at 160. If he decides to move up, he's not going to fight Benavidez because that was already on the line. He didn't want to do that. So I think
I'm
the
gonna
jig
tell
is
you
already
why.
up.
Do y'all
Because
think Maul
I'm
gonna
gonna
take
tell
the
you why.
fight this time?
Because Boots Ennis is coming. Xander Zayas is coming. Those guys moving up to 154, 160 are not playing.
It's not
Jamal and them
them.
are
It's
they're
no, no, no,
late
no, no.
they're
It's
in their
not
30s
them.
now.
It's not
They
them.
want that retirement check.
It's not them. It's Yanni Beck. Yanni Beck.
Well, Yanni Beck's there right now.
And once again, I'm not into hyping fighters. You know, like I'm not. Like I don't get overhyped over any promising contender. But I'm just saying that the guy looks all wrong. He has a very strong corner in Buddy McGirt, right? And the guy looks all wrong for everybody. He looks all wrong for Golovkin, but he won't fight Golovkin because he admires him and all that bullshit. But he's all wrong for Murata. Not that he's gonna get him, but he's all wrong for Murata. He's all wrong for Andre, and he's all wrong for Charlo, and he wants all of them.
He's Jules. He's a Kazakhstan fighter that got here at the right time. He's 28. That's like Triple G getting here at 28.
Put it another way. Triple G didn't get with Sanchez until some years in Germany. After he left Germany, he didn't get with him right away. He wasn't always with him. Whereas Yanni Beck, he already got Buddy McGirt in his corner. He already got a better corner than most of the corners that's out there. And he wants Murata, he wants Andre, he wants Charlo. I think Charlo's ready to cash out. That's what I think.
Yeah,
that's probably what it is. Like, look at okay.
Hold on. We still be forgetting the big picture here, and you know me, man. I don't think
Charlo on that leash. We know, Ronnie.
We know he on tight handcuffs. But the end of the day is this comes down to a business plan. It was never part of the business plan to even think about that fight. The business plan is to preserve your O to get a cinnamon sweepstakes. That's always been a business plan right now. And they're not going to make those fights. Just like we never got Benavidez Plant. We're not going to get Benavidez Charlo. We're not going to get these fights, man. And it's just the sad state of affairs. I'm still trying to figure out where Lara's going to fit in that. Why we not getting Maul versus Lara or Lara versus, it's so many ways we can do this, but everybody want to sit down. It's not their fault. You know who it is? It's the management.
Listen. It's messy. It's messy because I don't know what's going to happen with Lara. Because on one end, I saw Lara win a version of a WBA title at middleweight, right? Mm-hmm. And Ryota Murata has the WBA, but he's about to lose that shit because I have Golovkin stopping him, right? And I'll be shocked if he don't. But when it comes down to that Golovkin-Lara situation, I'm not against that situation. I'm not. But I don't see the fight happening. I don't see it happening. No, they're not gonna send. Are they gonna send Lara to the zone? Because Triple G fights on the zone, bro. That's where he fight, and he just amended his contract with them. He still owes them after the Murata fight. He still owes them 2 fights, so he's not going nowhere. If you want him, you got to go get him. Are you gonna go get him? No.
I think the thing is with these fighters, it's gonna sound like I'm a hater, but it's a lot of fighters that I feel like a lot of times that a lot of fans just right now they gotten so complacent with the waiting that they just won't criticize a lot of these fighters that it's gonna sound like a hater if they just bring this stuff up because look at Keith Thurman. Go ahead.
I bring this up every day. So, and like I say, I'm the biggest Maul Charlo fan on Twitter, this, that, and the third, and I keep it a buck. They all waiting 160 to 175. They all got an agenda, man. I'm telling you.
Yeah, they 147 too. 147. But
you only got one. You got one dude in 147. I mean, what you mean?
No, most 147 pounders been doing that for a while now.
Ronnie,
hold
up. What you mean?
But I'm the one who token it the welterweight division where the capital WAIT. Welterweight.
Yeah, the welterweight and the heavyweight division are probably the most diva divisions in boxing. But when it comes to fights left on the table, man, I can't there's gonna be so many guys that retire this generation. You'd be like, wow, there was a whole bunch of fights that you.
Bro, if you
think about I told Jules that you're gonna go to the fights in 20, 30 years, and you're gonna walk by Jamal Charlo and be like, bro, who are you?
Not even more. Keith Thurman. Not even
Keith Thurman. I was just about to say him. Look, Keith Thurman, bro. Look, the dude could have ended his career He could have ended his career fighting Errol Spence, but that didn't happen. Okay, fine, whatever. He didn't fight Crawford. I mean, fine, whatever. You didn't get that. You didn't fight Kell Brook, who was calling you out, which was
Nope.
weird because I mean, it seemed like you would take that fight after losing to Triple G. But whatever. Like you're just not going to take that fight. You didn't fight Amir Khan. I mean, granted, like I think there was some. I think Amir Khan, he did win, he did lose. His stock value dropped. Okay, cool, fine, whatever. And we didn't see you fight any of the new and upcoming
Now,
guys because
And the
battle.
crazy thing
Let
is,
me say
Thurman's
this. Wait,
resume is better than Spence at
let me say
147.
this. Let me say this. Keith Thurman, the reason I give Keith more shit than anybody is because he's a fucking idiot. There's money out there for him, and he don't. And you know what? Wait, let me finish. You ain't gotta fight Boots. Fuck Boots. You ain't gotta fight, even though I want you to, so he can retire you. But fuck all that, right? We talking about what's best for Keith. You need to go to Eddie and talk to Eddie and say, look, let's make a 3-fight plan where I fight your boy, Conor Ben. You feed me some German guys and some UK guys, and I'll fight your boy in the UK where he wants it. But nah, you a fool. You can't decide what you want to do. You think Spence gives a fuck about you, and he don't. And I know you don't want to fight Boots. I know you don't really want to fight somebody like that. I know you don't want to fight Virgil Ortiz, and I know you ain't serious about Crawford. You was never serious about Crawford. But, you know, Conor, he's young, he's green, he got shit that he working on, and this dude rather sit on his hands and do interviews about fights he ain't gonna have. He's a fucking fool. It's money out there for you, bro.
Did y'all see Spence's eyes last night, bro?
He was lit.
He looked lit, but like he don't look all the way there anymore.
And another guy who left so many fights on the table. And yeah, I'm gonna blame him for it, even though like I probably shouldn't because he was in a critical state not too long ago. But I'm gonna blame him for it. Adonis freaking Stevenson.
I agree with that.
My God, that guy gets on my nerves.
Oh, so y'all
he was the
really
once a
think
year
Charlotte
king.
will take the Canelo fight this time around?
Now he gonna take it because look, right? Think about it this way, Ant. If you fight Benavidez, it ain't gonna be for the same kind of money that you get for Canelo, but you might lose that shit. If you fight Andre, it's a similar situation. Like if you fight Andre, he's a tall southpaw, he's young, he don't hit that hard. But yo, it's risky. It's risky with Demetrius. It's risky with David. Why fight them and risk losing when you could fight Canelo? And even if you do lose, you make a fuck ton of money.
But why would his company even force him to fight anybody but Canelo? It's all about him. It's the whole bigger picture. Why, if you look at it, they make more money. PBC and Al Heyman and the whole group will make more money if they break these fights down. Yep. They're not going to put them fighters and they're not going to put them together. They'll lose money making a Maul versus Benavidez fight. And then after Cinnamon beat everybody, you know what the argument, and you know, if he beat it, Maul, my man, but if you say he beat everybody, you know what the argument is, to push the fights after that? Who did better versus Cinnamon? That's what it's going to be.
It's going to be interesting to see these pay-per-view buys.
It's going to be Cinnamon done clipped Plant, he done clipped Benavidez, he done clipped Charlo, he done clipped Earl, right? Say those the four, because that's pretty much the four that they got somewhat lined up. And then it's going to be the argument. We're going to run this. I did better versus Canelo than you. Okay, so them two going to fight Benavidez, Plant, and then they going to argue about who did better.
I'm going to say
that's their selling point. That's going to be the selling point.
I'm gonna say that Al really don't know, and I mean this from the bottom of my heart, like, because you got a good young fighter in David Morrell, right? He starts Cazares. Cazares had like 11, 12 fights, some shit like that. Mm-hmm. David had like 3, and he stopped the guy, right? Now, if I'm Al, I get this guy out there as much as possible. I get him the Tyrone Davis fight. I get him the Ronald Ellis fight. I get him the Romer Angulo fight because he showed me that he ready for that. He stopped this dude in one round, right? Nah, you got him sitting on the shelf. It's like, yo, you don't know which he had Tuxok Nyambia sitting on the shelf for a year waiting for Gary, right? Tuxok didn't even have 20 fights. I don't even think he had 15 fights. This dude's a prospect. You got prospects, whole prospects sitting on the shelf. The man don't know how to groom fighters. All he waiting to do, to your point, is cash him out.
Cash him out. Look at Erickson Lubin was just on Twitter complaining.
I seen the Spanish kid that Jamal fought when he first got the middleweight, Centennial. He said
Centennial went hard.
He said that's why he left. Like, yo, I ain't
And
trying
that's
to
why
be
Eubank. Remember, recently, that's why Eubank left. Eubank was like, man, y'all don't have
No,
nothing. Y'all couldn't give me the fights. I dipped.
what did Centineo say?
He was
Centennial.
saying he left them because one, they was getting stipends, and he was inactive. He couldn't work like that.
The money was funny,
Right.
Yeah,
He was like
yeah.
he was getting like stipends, and
and I'm like,
and I tell people PBC is ran different than like a top rank. And the reason why these fighters say they get so much money with PBC is because you got to look at how Al is a businessman. And when I mean by businessman, you know, he got that Harvard degree. He used PBC more as a financial institution. It's a genius plan. It's like having an agent have his own league. You see what I'm
Yeah.
getting at? So
Yeah.
basically, what happened is if you got a $500,000 purse, I'll be like, look, I can give you 500. The tax is gonna take that 350, but I give you 250, right?
Mhm.
I'll break your shit down. I'll break the rest of your money down in a stipend. When it's all paid, you get 650.
Exactly.
That's how it works,
Because
and it's a win-win. So unlike if you work for like top rank, if you fight for top rank, Bob's just gonna cut you one check. You go do what the hell you want to do. But what Al is the investor as well. You dig what I'm telling you? So he got a company on top of a company. So that's how it sort of works. But in the flip side, these motherfuckers is not fighting right. You know what I mean? They're just inactive, and he got too many fighters, not enough dates, and it's just, man, it's a mess. It doesn't help your boxing.
Darrell would be the ideal opponent, for example, for David Morrell, right? To me, he would be ideal because he's a former champion. He could fight. You know what I mean? What did Darrell say last night? If it's not for a title, I'm gonna
Right.
retire. You got whole
Right.
product going stale on the shelf. You got whole product going stale. Whole product. It's like what he's doing, right? Is like he's the promoter, he's the manager, and he's the promoter. That's what it really is. Because what fucking manager has TV deals? They don't. But a promoter does, and that's what the fuck Al is. Like, yo, you a promoter, bro. I think I understand. But your
And he's
product,
the investment group, and he the financial investment
Eddie,
group. So they
Eddie,
don't gotta have to go
Eddie,
find an investor. They can be Al is gonna be like, I'm your investor too. You invest in the company. That's why they get stipends.
wasn't Eddie Hearn a manager?
nah, I don't know about him being a
No, hell
manager.
no.
He was a
No,
promoter.
he wasn't no manager.
Oh, okay.
At the end of the day, right, the PBC stable for me, most of it has gone stale. There are very few fighters outside of Stephen Fulton that I'm excited about, and I really hope he gets out of there because he ain't going to get that Akhmadaliev fight. When he knew he decides to move up, he won't get that fight either. You know what I mean? Not if he over there. So after he beat Figueroa, what is he going to do? What is he going to do? What, they're going to move him
Move
up
up.
to featherweight?
Move
Well,
up.
my man, he
He's gonna have
claimed
to. He's gonna have to.
he claimed that he's going to get the MJ fight. That's what he's adamant that
And
he's
I'm
going
going
to
to
get the
hold him to
MJ
that.
fight.
I'm going to hold him to
He's
that because
adamant that he can get it. I mean, because he's probably the most active PBC fighter for real.
Look, I'm hoping that he knows Eddie will give me more money for that fight. So I need to go over there. Eddie will give me more money for that fight. Look, Al ain't about to pay through look, there was a purse.
Quick.
Go ahead. All right, there was
I put up earlier about intangible. Is that the same one with the? Is that the same one with the boxing channel on YouTube?
Yeah, man. Like, look. Ever since this argument, we had this argument, right? He doesn't like how I score fights. He want to nitpick the shit. I said, at the time that Daniel Dubois got stopped by Joe Joyce, the judges had him up. That's just a simple fact. I had him up because I thought the judges had him up. And when they read the scorecards, the judges did have him up. It's simple. It's a simple matter of fact. I don't care about all that anecdotal, I don't care about that. When I score a fight, what I'm trying to figure out is where do these judges have them? That's what I want to know because that's what's going to determine the outcome of the fight. I ain't for the arguing and shit on Sunday morning. I'm not for it. I want to know what the judges are thinking. That's what I want to know. So
me personally, I try not to look at other people's score because it'll throw me off big time. That's why I just mute this stuff.
Thank you, Battle. Because my whole thing is I want to know where the judges have it. So when Daniel he lost to Joe Joyce, And I guess I thought that maybe I'm thinking like, yo, what do you think? I'm being petty? Like, I'm dead ass. The judges have him up probably. Look at the card. The judges have him up. You want to sit here and have a whole blown out discussion? Like, bro, it's not. We don't need to have a discussion about a matter of fact. The judges had him up. I'm not making that up. That was their card. They had, oh no, but the promotion. I don't care about none of that. I'm telling you, the judges had him up. That's what I'm telling you. If you want to cry about it, then cry. But I'm telling you what I'm looking at the shit like, look, Daniel's getting off more than Joe. That's what I know. And between Daniel getting off more than Joe and the fact that Frank is behind this guy, I think the judges have him up. And when the scorecards came, that's what the fuck they had. Now, if you want to score being all naive and gullible and fuck, go ahead. But I don't do that dumb shit. Just like with Valdez and Conceição. Just like with Rigo and Casemiro, bro. The shit Rigo did, if you want to lose, then fight like that. If you want to lose. Now, if you want to win, don't do that shit. Don't do that shit. Go ahead, Leo.
I have a question. I hear some comments about the stoppage. What do you think about the stoppage?
I think that it's fine. I've seen way worse stoppages than that. That it was like, come on, dog. You could have let that go. And I'm completely okay with the stoppage. There was nothing remotely suspicious about it to me. I think that at this point, there's just a lot of guys that need something to hang on to, and they're gonna just look as much as they can to create content. Because remember, it's the content creators that they get this stuff from. They get it from the content creators, and they regularly put out ideas and notions. Yeah. Oh no, that stoppage wasn't like, man, you just need content because you don't know shit about boxing. If you did know shit about boxing, you'd have content for ages. These channels they get these notions from talk about the same small pool of fighters. There's fighters coming through. There's young fighters, Olympians, amateur standouts, male fighters, women fighters. They don't want to talk about that.
Look, what I see. What I see in the fight.
I seen a certain video.
Go ahead.
Look,
I'll go next. Go ahead, Leo.
I see some channels of us complaining about the stoppage, or others justifying the stoppage. You see, after the first knockdown, after Canelo landed the second left hand, he went to the ropes. What Caleb Plant did, he bent in his waist and tried to protect his head. I want to call that the fetal position. If you are showing that to the ref, you are telling him I don't want to fight anymore.
Listen, look, Leo, when he got dropped and fell asleep for 2 seconds on the ropes, right? Remember, he was like, it looked like he was out on those ropes for maybe a second or 2 seconds.
Yeah.
The first thing he did when he got up, he didn't get back on the horse and go after Canelo. No, you literally ran. He had to trot to you because you was running away. You literally turned your back and ran from him.
Yeah. And then he stumbled. He did a full stumble.
He did a hopscotch. He did a hopscotch.
That
like it literally looked like I think at the part where he was stumbling, it literally looked like he was running from Canelo, like he was getting, like he got an F on his report card and his daddy put out the belt or something like that. Like it looked like that.
Now we got Ronnie in here, so I want to pose this question to the panel. After Bud takes care of Football Sean, what's next for Bud? And does Josh Taylor wait for all these young bucks at 35 to come up to 40?
Josh is gonna wait.
What do you think, Ronnie?
Bud is in the driver's seat. Bud, after this crucial stoppage, and anything less than a stoppage is unacceptable. After Bud get this stoppage, he is the A side at 147. He's going to be the A side, and Earl is going to do an escape to 154 because WBA already eliminated one escape route. You dig what I'm telling you? Mm-hmm. They don't. They after with Bud about to do the Football Sean, they're going to force Earl to go to preserve his O, because they're going to start the new campaign is why should Earl fight Bud, which fight means lose the Bud, when he can fight Cinnamon. Fight means lose to Cinnamon for more money.
Now I'm gonna say this, Ronnie.
And what do you think about Josh Taylor? Is he gonna
hold on?
And what I'm saying is, what I'm saying is, we ain't got to worry about the other jokers no more. It's going to be about Bud Josh, Bud, Virgil. Bud is going to run. Bud is going to be the man, and he's going to have the best. He's going to have the bigger fights. It don't matter what happened. He's going to have the bigger fights.
Let me add this to the shit because Alexis, shout out to Alexis Rumbero, he said something that was very compelling to me. He's saying that because the division is becoming what it's becoming, you got Boots, you got Virgil, right? It's getting dangerous out here. You got fucking Bootsive. It's getting dangerous. There's guys coming through, right? Errol might actually choose to have the Crawford fight because it's like, well, who the fuck else am I going to fight for money? You know, Manny's gone.
Cinnamon, I'm telling you, they're
At
not.
what weight, bro? Like Canelo not coming down to 60. He not.
Watch what I tell. Watch what I
Errol
tell
Spence
you,
will move
dude.
up for that type
Watch
of money.
what I
Ring.
tell you, dude. They already planted the seed. I'm telling you, the whole
Ring,
argument.
you wouldn't move up. You wouldn't move up 20
The whole
pounds for
argument is about to be why should he fight Bud for less money? It's gonna be about the money.
how much money did Caleb Plant make?
Well, they said,
10.
look,
Guarantee
exactly,
is 10.
exactly. Like the guarantee is 10.
I
You
think-
don't know what else he got.
I think Errol's
Julius.
biggest purse is like 6. So like let's just say, just for the sake of this argument, that he getting $8 million to fight Canelo. You telling me he wouldn't gain 20 pounds?
I mean, at Jerry's house, he would. He would. They'll do it at Jerry's house, and it'll be crazy. Go ahead, Leo.
Julius,
Go ahead, Leo.
the fight is this: Canelo Alvarez versus Errol Spence, 160 pounds, 60 million for Canelo, sending PBC straight to bankruptcy. That's the fight.
And okay,
That's
so
the fucking
Ronnie,
You know what?
Ronnie, how
That
do
might
you
be the
see-
last fight.
Yeah.
That might be the last fight on their docket because I'm still trying to figure out how they gonna pay for this whole Canelo Plant fight.
Exactly.
Well,
How do y'all see
man,
135 playing out after these next 3 fights?
Oh, 135 is such a mess.
Yeah, I was saying he would get decapitated before Canelo started beating all these dudes and moving up. But anyway, like I saw this one video. I don't know if you saw it, Ring, but I don't have to name any names. But did you see Canelo and Teopium celebrate being undisputed? I was like, get the
Tio
was
went up there
like,
with his
bro,
belt, like autograph my
I was
belt.
Yo,
like,
did you see?
freak
No,
outta
wait,
here.
Battle. Did you see what Josh Taylor said though
Josh
about
is
that shit?
savage.
What did he say? What did he
He
say?
said, "Yo, this dude is a fucking." What he called him a helmet?
He called him a rat, Mickey Mouse.
Yeah, like bro, you not under and
You
don't
not,
know
bro. Oh my
that,
god, that was a
not
face palm.
undisputed.
He is
He's
savage.
not
That was
undisputed.
a
Like
face palm, bro. I was like, bro, it should not, bro. It's like one of the things that you guys are just ignorant, bro. It's like this competition should not be
Bro,
complicated,
he's going to the fights carrying his belts.
that's what I was gonna say. So when you got
bro,
in wait, Drew. So when he got in the car, he leaves the hotel. He gets all the suitcases with all the belts in them. It's like 6 suitcases, bro, to go to the fight, bro.
And Rain, did you know he got two other belts?
And
2
not
WBC?
and not one of them is
Not one of them are legitimate.
Not one of them is the real one.
So, who has the most to prove this next fight at 135? Out of Tank, out of Haney, out of
Tank
Tio?
is not in the mix, bro. Like
No,
I don't
I
consider
don't know
him
why.
a lightweight, bro. Like I don't consider Tank nothing. Like, bro, you
He's
not
only
gonna
had one
fight
fight
shit.
there.
Exactly, Gamboa. That's
And,
all he did at 35, Gamboa.
and I'm still trying to figure out how is he. I mean, they just did a wait for a vacant belt. They not there to fight nobody. They just did a wait for a vacant belt.
They there waiting for Teofimo to move up for Josh.
Yeah,
so when
that's
he does, he could pick up the WBA because
And
that's
they
the
can
one.
pick the lightest touches of the lightest touches, and that's just what it's going to be. And that's the game.
I'm going to say it again, and a lot of people they're not going to like it, but that's just how I feel. Devin beats him in a year. Shakur beats him. I think Teofimo can beat him now because he gets hit too much. You getting hit by Leo. You know what I mean? Leo don't got no power, but you was getting hit by that guy.
We already know we'll never find out. So
we not. But that's how I feel. That's
Really?
like Shakur.
That's how Floyd feel too.
Shakur in a year or two. Shakur in a year or two, he'll beat Tank, man. Devin will beat him now because of all that bullshit you get away with. That jab that he got will take all that shit away.
Yeah, we know who the biggest Shakur fan is.
Who does Loma see after? Should he beat Coleman? What's next for Loma?
He's gonna get a belt.
Loma.
He's gonna get a belt. He's gonna get a belt because
Loma.
Teo not gonna fight him, right? Teo wants Josh, right? So when you move up and get him, them belts will go vacant. Loma is in line, I think, by way of the WBO. He'll get a belt if he wins. He'll get a belt. He'll go on to fight for a belt.
Loma is on a motherfucking tear, Slim. I swear to God.
I was there at that Nakatani fight, bro. He ain't
Loma
playing right
is
now.
on a tear, dog. Like they not playing right now. Loma is different right now. Like he like, all right, y'all motherfuckers done piss me the fuck off, Slim. I'm gonna fuck everybody up. But Shakur beats Loma, and Shakur my man. I'm gonna stand with him $100,000.
Shakur
But
doesn't beat
I
him.
don't think that fight is happening
It's
no
not,
time
look,
soon.
No, wait.
It's not happening no time
not
soon.
now. Not if they fight now, Shakur loses now. But when Bob
I don't think the
do
fight
it,
happening anytime soon. So
that's what I mean. I think in a year or 2 years it happens if Loma's still around, obviously, and Shakur will beat him. And Shakur will in 2 years or a year and a half, Shakur beat him.
I just want Aegis Climax to position Loma for the WBA belt when
I have a question. What are the chances of Loma forcing a fight to Teopium Lopez?
It's about to happen after this. I'm telling you, Leo. I think the belt that he's gonna end up picking up if he beats Comey. Like, I'm not looking past Comey because Comey can punch. He can punch. He can punch. You see what he did to fucking Marinas. He can punch. And all that shit. It all look good till you get caught, and you can't get caught. Like, people get caught all the time, man. People get caught. He's most in line for the WBO. So in all likelihood, that is how he will try to impose himself to Teofimo Lopez. The thing is that right now the IBF is in the rotation. That's the first belt that he won by himself. So that's why they first in the rotation. After that, I don't know which one is next. I don't know if the next one is the WBA or the WBO because he won them both from Loma. He won them both at the same time. Right. So I don't know which fight will get ordered.
Well, we know we can actually go.
Great question.
The fight that'll be ordered would be actually the WBO.
Then there you have it.
Because the WBA just ordered, the IBF just ordered, and the WBC was ordered before the IBF. So the next is WBO.
Yeah, and Fat Boy got 48 hours to decide what belt he won after.
But that's what I mean, bro. That 48 hours after the fight, they putting Davis at 48 hours after the Cruz fight, right? They putting him on the spotlight. So what you gonna do, Javante? Because we gotta order this fight. We might have to order Davis versus Lopez.
And if you're top ranked, Jules, you don't tell Teo to do nothing yet, right?
No, I don't. I'm like, yo, sit tight for a second. If I'm Bob or I'm David McMuffin or McWater or whatever the fuck his name is, right? If I'm him, Teo, sit tight. Don't do nothing yet. Don't make no decisions.
Right.
Let's go into January and let's see what happens because they about to order this motherfucker to fight you. And if nothing else, that's good press. Like, what's the matter?
Exactly. Look at Jules thinking.
And I think
you could win the PR battle just by waiting.
I think Top Rank is hip now to the way PBC was moving. They PBC sort of aligned themselves with the WBA, and it's sort of like threw people for a loop. But everybody hip to the way they moving. But they ain't got no money for these purse bids, so that's what's hurting them now. And the sanctioning body's actually getting hip too. So now that's why we getting so many fights ordered because they realizing. You got a brand.
Yeah, that's what we was talking about, Ron, when they was all sitting having coffee and there's Grand Slam breakfasts at Denny's.
We not making money with motherfuckers sitting on a bench for 10 and 11 months. We need to order these motherfuckers to fight. We don't give a fuck who give us the money. Al ain't giving us that much money. Well, we ain't get money from all these other sanctioning bodies, and that's why all these fight. That's why every sanctioning body is forcing these fights. And wait till the IBF get back in the mix.
You basically, Ronnie, you basically saying what happened at that breakfast meeting they had the other day on Twitter.
Yeah, they had no bread. Hold on. They had no bread for the port. They didn't even want to try to put on Crawford versus Porter. They didn't even try. The other day there was a fucking purse bid for Casemiro. They threw Casemiro in his belt in the garbage. Like, nah, we good. We don't need that fight.
Hey, Ring.
Don't forget about Brown. Don't forget about Brown and Beterbiev.
That's another one. Like, bro, they ain't got no bread.
Go ahead, gotta pay that Canelo money.
I'm gonna jump out and I'm gonna jump back in because I reset my mic.
All right, but let me read the super chats. I got two. Herd
Wait,
stops
Ring,
Charlo. Hold on. Herd stops Charlo. Virgil joined Canelo team. I do think he's gonna end up joining Canelo's team. Jaime Nieto says, "Yo, Julius, you need to get your boy Ness. He's yelling bad stoppage and pretty much hating on Canelo's performance. Fan of Ness, but he wildin'. Love the show, dog. Look, me and Ness talked about that fucking fight. We talked about that fight a couple of when I was on his show or whatever, when I was on the Boxing Voice, and I told him, look, Caleb gonna get stopped, dog. Like it is what it is, bro. Like I don't want I'm not trying to say nothing bad, feel me? But I'm like, look, dog.
Yeah, no, let's move on because I got something I want to say and I'm not gonna say it.
Yeah, just let's move on because I fuck with Ness. I like him. He good dude, but he doing what he doing. You know, he doing what he doing. So and that's cool, man. I'm not doing that, but I dig it. Like, do your thing, B. I ain't gonna hold you. Do your thing, B.
But
man,
at
Caleb,
the end of the day,
Sweet Hands plant, man. What you mean?
but,
Caleb plants look good. I don't care what nobody say.
But the problem with these jokers, Jules, is that they don't believe this shit, and you know they don't believe this shit.
I know, but
that's why when I see them in public, I just look at them like, man, y'all not even real to me.
It's
Ronnie,
some people.
We can't be like that because look,
Ronnie,
no.
I'm different.
This why I got a lot of respect for Ness, right? He became a cornerstone. Now, listen. He became a cornerstone of the American boxing scene off his own grind, right? Like I know that there's aspects and conversations and discussions and topics that we have differences of opinion, but I respect his grind because it's like, nah, he did his thing, B. The Boxing Voice. That's a motherfucking brand, yo. And I respect that, you know.
I respect it too, but you know, I'll have more respect if a person believe actually what they say. I respect the hustle, so I respect his hustle. That's fine, that's cool, but I don't believe him. You know what I'm saying?
You don't respect Creflo Dollar. You don't respect Creflo Dollar, though.
I respect his hustle.
Ronnie, you respect Skip Bayless more because you know he believe that shit.
Skip do believe his shit though. Skip believe his shit.
Skip don't believe that shit. Man.
Skip be believing that. You can see he be believing that shit.
But he don't believe that bullshit. Ain't no motherfucking way you really thought that McGregor was gonna win that fight. You really thought that? You didn't believe that shit. You didn't believe
but
that.
I just I'm
gonna be honest.
It's just be too ridiculous.
I'm gonna be honest though, Ring. I spoke to the people who legitimately had. I spoke to people who legitimately had Danny Garcia beating Sean Porter, and I was like, "How? Like what? Like,
well, that's not too far off, though."
Nah, I mean, look. This is the thing about that fight, right? And I knew that Sean was winning. He was throwing more, and that goes back to the conversation that we had earlier. That even if let's say you in there with a guy, you're throwing more than the guy, but you're not really landing, but you're still throwing more than the guy. In the eyes of the judges, yo, this dude is doing the work. You just blocking punches. That's it. You just blocking punches. You're not here to block punches. You're here to throw and land punches. And you're not doing that. Danny wasn't doing that. So I had Sean ahead on the cards. I did.
I mean,
dog, I had Bud's gonna make that shit look so easy.
It's so easy. That's what people don't understand. So easy, dog. So easy.
I wouldn't say that. I wouldn't say it so much like that. I think it's going to be competitive.
Nah, bro. It's going to be easy. It's going to be easy.
I agree with Fletch.
Sean is out of his depth.
I expect after the fight, Sean Porter missing teeth with an eyeball hanging out of his eye socket. That is what I think is what needs to happen. If it's not having that,
how does I still want to figure out how does Sean keep Bud off of him? Bro? Like that's what I'm still
I'm gonna tell you what. Let me hold on. First, I got a couple of super chats I gotta read. First, Jaime Nieto says, also you hear Tank saying Canelo trying to be like him. Who has Tank fought? Now he said that Tank.
He's trolling.
He trolling. Like I didn't even have a lot of stock in that. He said Jaime says, not hating. I'm a huge fan of Ness. We just disagree on the fight. And I'm gonna say, look, once again, I know what the hustle is. I get it. I ain't gonna hold you. You getting good money doing that. I ain't gonna say nothing. Like I ain't like look, it's he getting money. You know what I mean? Like and it's I can't address that without coming at him, and I don't want to come at him.
I know you can't. I know, but that's why I'm here to do.
You know what it's like. You know what, you almost like you call him the Tyler Perry of like boxing channels, because like I don't know if you notice, like Tyler Perry, everybody always talking about Tyler Perry. Yeah, he hustle, he give these black actors a avenue to make money, make movies. Like, what about the quality though? Like everybody like,
No. Wait a minute. No, I'm gonna say this. No. I'm gonna say this. All right. My thing is he does it in a dress. That's my hang up with Tyler. But what I will say is I've seen one or two of his movies, and it was one or two of them that I actually like. Like, to be honest with you. No. It's just that why you got to do it in a dress, bro?
Honestly, I think he has some of the worst writing I've ever seen. But I mean, he
maybe
is
acting.
He is because
acting.
No,
writing.
No. Actually, I'm gonna be honest. Tyler Perry is actually a pretty decent actor. I don't know if you ever seen Gone Girl or the movie he's in, but he's actually pretty decent.
I'm not talking about his acting.
As Medea, it's
even outside of that, when he played Alex Cross, he was decent as Alex Cross.
That's what I'm saying. So like, I think he's a good actor. My thing is, he writes the most terrible scripts ever. Like,
no, he don't. I won't.
You've got to be joking, Ring. I mean, like, okay,
no. He touches on. He do shit like what was the movie about? What was the movie about the couple that the joint cheated on the dude?
All of them. That's my point. All of them are the exact same scripts. You told me about what's the movie? That's all of them.
Stop.
Who didn't he do Acrimony?
That is all of them.
Man,
yes,
we getting away from the goddamn boxing. What I'm gonna say is, look. What I'm gonna say is this, all right? I know why Ness says what he says. I'm not gonna hold him. If you really feel
he hustling,
and if he really feel that Caleb, that the stoppage was bad, you know what? Look, all I'm gonna say is, I saw what I saw. The judges saw what they saw. Ebony Bridges, Josh Taylor, Ishay Smith, they saw what I saw, and I think everybody on the panel, more or less. So, like, yo, dog, like, you not winning, bro. You're not winning doing that shit. You can't go into this level of a fight with a mindset. I can't get knocked out. No, you need to anticipate being knocked out, and you need to go for it before he knocks you out, because that's what he's doing. You need to knock him out. And I know that sounds crazy.
Me personally,
Caleb Plant wasn't complaining about the stoppage.
No, he wasn't.
No, like, I'm gonna be honest, Ring. Those triggers that you're talking about, as far as you're not really trying to fight, you're trying to survive. Those triggers didn't go off in my head like they did with me, like they did with you. Because if I could look at a fight where I clearly see somebody's trying to survive and you're not really doing anything, that was probably Mikey Garcia versus Errol Spence. I was disgusted. I was disgusted seeing Mikey Garcia cheer after every round. I'm like, bro, you didn't throw anything. Like, what are you cheering about? This is pathetic. That was really was going off my head. But I actually seen Caleb Plant throwing. My thing is, like I said, he got scared in a couple of moments because he found out how hard Canelo hits. And that's cool. That's fine. You get wobble. You recuperate. Like I said, his countering did get better, but he got caught. It's a part of it. Like I said,
you got a guy. He starts off a round backing up back to the ropes, and he don't spin off the ropes to. I want to get this guy in front of me, but I don't want to be on these ropes. But I want to. You're not trying, bro. Like, he wasn't. Like, I'm sorry. The occasional counter, the occasional flurry is occasional. Take it to him. This is Canelo. Take it to him. Like. In other words, you know you're not going to win a decision. If it goes to the cards, let's be honest. Canelo has a way with judges. Let's be honest, right? So you know you're not going to win a decision, but you wanted the Canelo fight, right? I assume it's because you wanted to win, or is it just that you wanted to get paid? Caleb fought like a guy that wanted to get paid. That's how I feel. You weren't trying. You can't start off a round and the first thing you do is back up.
Look. We have some stoppage like that. The Canelo versus Caleb Plant fight. Not long time ago, the Terrence Crawford versus Kell Brook.
Yeah,
it was almost identical.
Yeah,
Kell Brook wasn't like out, but you can see this guy is not fighting back. He's just hanging in there.
Yeah,
he doesn't want to fight anymore.
And Caleb, the main thing,
but Brook didn't know where he was at though. That's a different.
No, but Leo hit the nail on the head. Leo hit the nail on the head. Whenever you hear anybody talking about premature stoppage, a bad stoppage, like the Jamal James fight, I saw people saying, the stoppage was premature. Listen, I didn't see Jamal complaining. I didn't see him complaining. I didn't see Caleb complaining. So if it was quote unquote premature, why he ain't complaining about it? Like, man, what are you doing, man?
I mean, in some cases, there are exceptions, like the Jared Hurd and Tony Harrison stoppage. I thought that was just weird.
He's
like
getting his ass, bro. That ain't getting his ass.
No, I was at that fight. Jared Hurd was getting dealt with. I was at that fight.
That's what I'm saying. Like, it felt weird. Like, don't get me wrong. I know Tony Harrison spit out his mouthpiece to get more time, but I think the referee was embarrassed because Jared Hurd was celebrating early. He was like, bro, I gotta call it a stoppage now because I'm gonna look like a fluke if I say it's not actually a stoppage.
Yeah, but that's some old fluke shit. We talking about, like, look, if you thought the dude, all right, get my thoughts together, right? You got dropped, right? You got dropped, and it literally looked like I felt that the ref could have waved it off the first knockdown because his face he's on the ropes like that. I thought he could have waved it off then. But the ref lets you get up. He lets you get up. He gives you the eye, come forward, touch gloves, whatever. First thing you do is run away. You literally ran to the other side of the ring. Bro, all right, you done, bro. If he knock you down again, you done, bro. You done. It's over. It's not a bad stoppage. Like, that is too obvious to me to argue about. Like, bro, it's not a bad stoppage. He wasn't complaining. He already got dropped. You know what I mean? He wasn't engaging with Canelo when he got up. No, he ran from Canelo when he got up. He literally ran from him when he got up.
Look, we saw, for example, the AJ versus Carlos Takam fight.
That's a bad stoppage.
That stoppage was like, okay, Takam was hit with very hard shot, but Takam was in the fight, and he wasn't showing the signs that, like, he doesn't want to fight anymore.
Same with Akavov and Andrade. Akavov wasn't wobbly. He wasn't on spaghetti. He was eating a lot of jabs. The fight was kind of boring, but he wasn't wobbly though.
That
like
stoppage was
BS,
man.
Hey, Rick, I'm laughing. Rick, I'm laughing because what's the name of that referee who speaks Spanish but he looks black? Like, I forget his name. It's Tony Weeks. Tony Weeks. Yeah. So you remember when Caleb Flint fought Angulo? And he hit him with a huge, he like, boom!
Yo, Battle, you laughing at some weird shit,
bro. He hit this dude with a huge uppercut, and then Angulo's face was like, whoa!
Look, man. All I'm gonna say is when it come to, and I talked to Ness about it. You know what I mean? Like, we talked about a lot of things. I think the last time I was there, and I ran down the whole shit. I made my argument, and I just figured, look, man, I know what it is, and you high on some of these guys, or you're doing what you're doing, and it's cool, man. All I know is I said Caleb gonna get stopped. That's all I know. That is all I know. That's what I said. He's gonna do all right in the beginning. He's gonna start to fade. He's gonna start getting hit hard, and he's gonna fall. And when I think about Charlo, it's the same thing, but it's gonna happen sooner because Charlo gonna try to land. He not gonna run. He not going like nah. He gonna try to fight and land. And when you open up, you could get caught. I think Charlo gets stopped.
That is one thing I had to jump on the panel, but I disagree with you on that one. I think if anything, I think Demetrius Andrade is gonna get stopped before Charlo.
I mean, they both could get stopped, Battle, but I'm telling you that Charlo gonna try to fight. He gonna try to land hard. He gonna try to land hard shots, and because of that, you gonna get caught and you gonna get stopped.
All I know is I don't want to see the I need Charlo to fight Benavidez first, man. I don't want. I mean, at this point, it's just I don't need no rusty ass boxers trying to take the Cinnamon Challenge, man.
But I don't think he's gonna do that.
No, he is.
He is. He gonna sit down.
He is.
Why
would he gamble? Why would he gamble with Frank and Vides? With Frank and Vides, they look like Frankenstein when a Canelo payday is right there.
Right.
I'm gonna wait to see if Canelo pick me before I gamble with David. If I fight David, he might fuck me up. I'll let Canelo fuck me up for more money than that. Fuck that. I'm gonna wait. The problem is, what did Canelo say? we're gonna wait till January to see who the next fight is. So that means the rest of 2021, no Charlo, right?
Right.
Early 2021, we might not see him neither. Why? He's waiting for Canelo. He's waiting for Canelo. So by the time you do fight him, it could be a year from your last fight.
It was all part of the plan. That's why what did Plant tell everybody? He was willing to wait a whole year and not fight anybody because that's the reason why they did back-to-back IBF mandatories. That's the game. That's the plan.
Can I pose a question to the panel?
Go ahead, Jay. Go ahead, Jay.
Did anybody hear about that confrontation? Did anybody hear about that confrontation between the Charlos and Jared Hurd?
I seen that shit. Yeah, I seen that shit.
What was it? What was it?
He slapped him. They was in the crowd, and it was Mel and Moore together, and he reached over. I don't know if that was. I think that was Mel that he reached over to slap Moore, and he slapped him, and then it wasn't shit. It was just this bullshit. Like, bro, y'all ain't about to fight.
That's how y'all DC dudes do.
Nah, Slim. Nah. Jared cool. I mean, in there, but they got real, sir. They got real beef.
Wait. It was Jamel and it was
It was Mel and Moore. Mel was in front of Moore, and it looked like Hurd was talking to Moore, and then he had reached over. He had reached like past Mel, and he slapped Moore. And then, Mel, he got tight, so he dropped. It looked like he had dropped some shit, like he's about to get wild or whatever. But nothing happened. Nothing happened. You know what I mean? And right now, look, Mel and I've been saying this for 3 years. Jamel will knock Jared Hurd the fuck out. All right? Like no cap. Like, he'll knock him out, especially now, because he's been at 54 too long.
Way too much, man.
Yeah, like he'll get knocked out by Mel. Like, I don't know if the Moore fight gonna happen. Maybe if he don't get Canelo, but I think he is gonna get Canelo. So the only other fight to make is Mel versus Hurd. The problem is Mel got a mandatory, a Russian dude by way of the IBF, Murtazaliev or some shit.
Yeah, but they trying to get that money together so they can,
Yeah,
I'm gonna reset
my mic. Get that money together.
Resetting my mic.
Because they don't even want to do that. They don't even really want to run the Castano shit back. I mean,
bro, like Castano gonna have to make a decision, bro, because you're not a star in America.
I'm having playback issues, so I'm gonna jump off. Appreciate you having me on. Okay,
no problem.
I don't think Castano is waiting on Al in the.
All right, take care, y'all.
You see what I'm getting at? He can't really make no moves.
But he don't have a choice. If Mel is not available to you, which he's not, Mel is not available to you right now. You got to go fight. And the other thing is,
he still got to get a permission slip signed, though, Jules.
The other thing is, motherfuckers not thinking about this Inoue fight in the right way. That Japanese motherfucker's not a game, B. Like, he's not a game.
He was all over Jaime ass.
Right?
I mean, to be fair, he might just be a guy that Jaime Munguia has made people that wasn't all like great looking look great. But that happens to Jaime Munguia because
Did you see what he did to Turiano Lip? That motherfucker is hard.
Yeah, of course I see. I took the picture. I was watching that live.
Dog, like he a full.
No, I have no doubts. I have no doubts that Jaime Munguia hits very hard and he has a chin. Like, no doubt, that dude's gonna take some freaking punishment, man. But the thing is, like I said, when I saw the Inoue fight, I was like, dang, this dude Inoue got a chin too. But at the same time, I was like, Jaime Munguia, like, you kind of presented me that you just don't want to fight this dude. Like, maybe it's you got scared of his chin.
Battle, interpret it this way. You got a guy that when he normally come forward, throw a lot of shit. Takeshi knew he was backing him off, putting him on the ropes. Yeah. That tell me not only can he hit, that he can punch, but he could take a punch.
He was, but okay. Do you remember?
Say it again, because your
Larry
mic was
Merchant
going
used to
in
big
and out.
up. Can you hear better? Hello?
I can hear you now.
Yeah.
Go ahead.
Hello?
Go ahead.
Okay, so do you remember when Larry Merchant was bigging up Virgil Ortiz? He was like, "Oh, this guy is the supreme guy," because he didn't like Floyd, so that was the guy who was root behind. And I'll never forget. It was a bunch of times in the fight where Virgil Ortiz would just start dancing, like moving on his back foot,
Relative, like, what are you doing, bro? Like, why don't you just fight the guy? Like, and like that's the same thing with Jaime Magia. Jaime Magia clearly has the ability to just knock these guys out. He just start dancing. I'm just like, Jaime Magia, why aren't you not throwing? Like, you know, you got good combinations. You know, you got good.
But Battle, what does that tell you about Takeshi when he makes the pressure fighter retreat?
No. Munguia does this versus everyone though.
No,
except for the case of like
Bro, he
what's the guy he
didn't
knocked
end up.
out?
He did not end up on them ropes by himself. He was put there.
With Toriano Johnson, he did it too.
But Toriano was fighting, bro.
Jaime was put there by Dennis Hogan too.
Yeah,
that's what I'm saying. That's what I'm saying. Jaime Magia does it versus everyone.
I'm just saying that for me, look, I love the Zoo versus Inoue.
Yeah, I like that fight.
Because like, yo, I'm just like, yo, Zoo better be on his shit. Because
I like that fight a lot.
And I'm gonna be watching that for breakfast. Australian boxing for breakfast. Like, yo,
I got Inoue winning that fight. Zoo is extremely slow in my opinion. He's extremely slow.
We going to see. Look, I don't know because it's an unknown quality. You fought Jeff Horn, but Jeff sounded like he had COVID, right? And then you fought Hennis Dogan, but Hennis Dogan got knocked out by Charlo right before he fought you. So it's like, I see that you got the skills, but at what level? We about to find out.
He's gonna be powerful Brown, number one. And hold up. Speaking of, because we was talking about Castano and getting his permission slip signed. Remember, Tony Harrison don't even know when his next fight is going to be. He on Twitter complaining too.
I talked about that. They're like, yo, how you going to
sad,
turn down?
man.
How you going to turn down the motherfucking Zoo money? Because Zoo got M's like that. Kid sells, man. Like he sells. People show up.
I'm telling you, they got to get a permission slip signed, Jules. You think they got to get that permission slip signed, man? I'm telling you.
This is what's gonna happen. This is what I think is gonna happen, right? Brian won't get Maul. At which point, if Tim beats Takeshi, the fight gets ordered. It goes through a purse bid. PBC not gonna pay Tim Zoo $3-4 million to come to America. Brian, get your passport out. You gotta go over there. If they didn't want to get involved with Sean Porter's situation, and they didn't.
Bro, they don't have no money, man. I'm telling you, they didn't
want to get involved with Sean shit. They let motherfucking Casemiro fight end up at Pro Bellum. Like Pro Bellum. Like, do y'all even have a platform? Like, why y'all want this fight? It's like, yo, they're like, y'all ain't got no. Y'all let Marcus Brown go to Top Rank. Y'all didn't care enough about that shit. It's like, yo, dog, like, and you think they about to pay all these M's for Tim Zoo to come to America? No, Brian, you need to go to Australia.
How was the Casimiro purse for this fight?
It was
$100,000.
And I think the only purse bid that they won, was Chris Colbert and Roger Gutierrez.
Oh shit, yo, you know what the minimum? Now, battle. You know what the minimum bid was? The minimum bid that you could bid just to be able to bid was 100,000. The winning bid was 106,000.
Yeah.
So this guy is having like money from UFC contenders.
Nah, but it's that you look. I'm gonna be honest. It's smart. Why is it smart? Casemiro look like shit. It's not just Rigo. Casemiro look like shit in the Rigo fight. Like, bro, we can't put you on TV, bro. You look like shit. You look like fucking shit. We can't. Showtime. The people that Stefan Espinoza has to answer to. I'm speculating. I am. But I feel like they probably, don't put that motherfucker on TV no more, bro. We don't need fights like that. We don't need that. And they probably, we're not going to put him on TV right now, right? You think about the Brown fight. Well, with the Brown fight, Brown going to fuck around and get knocked out. So are we about to pay, or to a better be, $2, $3, $4 million in a bidding war to come over here and knock out our guy? No, for that, knock him out over there, B. You pay for it. Because he probably going to get knocked out. Now, if he win the belts, he comes back to us and we got a champion. But we're not paying for that shit. So it's smart that, like, I don't think they have the money, but it's still a good play. Like, let the motherfucker go over there because he probably going to get knocked out anyway.
Yeah, they don't. They just, I mean, yeah. Yeah, man. It's just
Yeah, I think he could beat him.
You think
What?
Brad?
Nah,
Come
nah,
on,
Mark.
man.
No,
Come
no,
on,
no.
come
Honestly,
on with this shit, man. Come on,
Oh,
man.
wait,
no,
oh,
no.
What?
You
no.
always send down my opinions, but let
Come
me just have
on.
my opinion, and, and, and and we can just be on with it, bro. Like, come on. Like, I always have an opinion that's different in the ring, and he's gonna be like, "Oh, you just trolling now."
Listen, man. I'm gonna say this, right? Because I got 2 super chats and I want to go to sleep. It's late for us old people, right? Plant ran across the ring to look for his dick. All right. Plant and Saunders would be interesting. I got Billy winning that fight. Luis Puente says, why wouldn't Castano not fight at 147? He's too fat. He can't make that weight healthy, bro. He built like a little tree trunk. Yeah, he's like a little tree trunk. Like he can't make 140. He's not tall or long, but he's fat. Like you can look at him like, bro, that dude can't get down to 47. He'll be half dead trying to make 147. I want to see Castano versus Ennis. Castano, I like that fight. Castano versus Ennis at 54.
That is an exciting fight.
That's a good ass fight. Be like we gonna really see what you could do, cause I'm not knocking him, right? They don't want to fight him, and he's not a PBC fighter. Like I see how people talk about him. I don't talk about him in that Keith Thurman, Denny Garcia. No, they freezing him out too. They don't want to fight him because it's like, well, you ain't worth no bread, so what I'm gonna lose to you for? Because I'm gonna lose, and we all know it. I'm not gonna lose to you.
Who we talking about?
Motherfucking Danny and Keith. Keith got amnesia. He said he never heard of Boots Ennis before. I don't believe that shit.
Yeah, Keith. I'm so sick of Keith, man. Like,
I don't believe, bro. Boxing is too small a world for you to have never heard of this man. I don't believe that shit.
And I told you,
right. Like it's ridiculous.
And you know, when I was and I tell people the story when I was on the IG live with Regis was complaining about who he should fight. I said, fight Sabril Matias. Who? I don't know who that is. I was like, Slim, stop lying. You know who the fuck Sabril Matias is. He was like, why? And then he turned around.
You actually said that.
Regis turned around and say, why everybody keep talking about it? I was like, what?
Bro, like,
that's why everybody keeps
that's
talking
why
about
I love Ted. That's why I love Ted Crawford, because Crawford don't be pretending like he don't know people. Like when they brought up Amir Mom, they was like, hey, we was excited to see that Amir Mom fight happen. Then the guy was like, what happened? And then Ted Crawford was like, he just lost, so we just can't make that fight happen. So and then like it was another one where there was like Crawford, that they were saying he was ducking what's the guy, Troy Anoski. He's like, yeah, he just got knocked out by Ndongo. Like, bro, like he don't sugarcoat it. Like he like, bro, he don't pretend.
Nah. I'm gonna tell you.
But they was building Troy Anoski to clip Bud for years.
Now I'm gonna tell you this. This is what I think the difference between the top ranked guys is and a lot of other guys. They know what's out there. They know what's like. Nah, you're not gonna catch me asleep at the wheel. They know what's out there. They know who's out there, like Troyanovsky and Dongo then Dongo hit him with a hand from the parking lot. Like he literally hit him like this. Like, yo, dog, like if that wasn't the most telegraph punch I ever seen, but he caught you with it. It is what it, and he caught him with it in Russia, which is why Ndongo has my respect, because he had that fight in Russia. He was not supposed to win that fight, but he did. And he went to Scotland. He was not supposed to beat Ricky in Scotland, but he did. So respect, because it's a lot of guys like motherfucking Brian. Like, Brian, you're not even from America. What are you talking about, bro? You a road warrior, so get on the motherfucking road and fight Tim Tszyu. It's a problem.
Go ahead, yeah. I'd be excited to beat people in their backyard, honestly.
Bro, I think honestly it gives you the sharpness that you kind of need, because when you gotta look at what happened to Jared in his own backyard. And then look at what happened to Julian in his backyard. Look at what happened.
Let me get knocked out overseas, because at least I made the effort to come to you.
No, but also you could come back and lie to your friends, like, yeah, I beat him, man.
No. Like, you can come. Of course, they're gonna find out on YouTube the next.
Yeah, but by then I left. I left.
Bro, like I wasn't at my best. Some dude came over upside my head with a bottle, and I couldn't think straight. Like,
nah, I come back. No, I'll come back and lie to their ass. Like, yeah, man, I want to fight, man. I fucking won. And then I'll leave, get in the cab. They'll Google the fight. Like, bro, you fuck. And then I'm not even there. Like, I don't got to deal with the shit. Like, I don't got to, like, I won, bro. Hand out the car window. Like, I won. You know what I mean? Like, you must hit that motherfucker too hard, cuz he lost.
Bro, like I'm taking them fights, but I don't care what nobody says, man. I think they should be a even distribution for American and British fighters to fight where it's sanctioned.
I mean, look, you see Josh Taylor, right? Never once did he complain about I gotta come for Jose Ramirez. To America. He didn't complain, but oh, no, I don't want to go to Britain. All right, man, and you don't want the fight. You don't want that fight because you're not undisputed at 140. You want his belts, right? So you got to go to him. What's the problem?
Do you think he really wants to fight him?
Nah, honestly, I don't. I don't, and I think he's intimidated by him.
Who? Wait a minute. Who don't want to fight?
Teopium. He don't want Josh, bro. Why you think all this Davis?
I think he do.
Nah, I don't. I honestly don't think he does. And if he fights him inside of 2 fights, he loses, and he loses bad.
The problem with
Ronnie,
that is
Ronnie. Can Teofiimo beat Regis? I don't think so.
I personally, I think so. I don't think Regis is all that.
Don't matter. You wildin'. You wild.
I think Tio stops him, but nah. The thing is with Tio is Tio knows. Listen though. Let me go back to Tio. I mean, that's just me. I got Tio stopping Regis. But the thing about Tio is Tio knows he have to deliver top rank. Josh or Loma, because he signed a pay-per-view fight, 2 pay-per-view fight deal. He know that's not going to be with nobody else. So he knows he knows he got to fight him. That's what I'm saying. He knows he got to fight him.
Now, Ronnie, think about this shit, right? You got a choice. You got a little Loma, right? Little Loma, right? Or right. Big Josh, right? Now you beat Loma before. If you fight him again, you could be on pay-per-view this time, and you got gate revenue this time. If you look at Josh might fuck around and want this thing in the UK because Sky is behind him now. He has Sky now behind him. He didn't have them before, right? Do I want to go fight a guy that's bigger than me in his backyard, or do I fight him again here in America? I beat him already. I'm gonna go with Loma. I don't, and bear in mind, I don't actually think he wants either of those fights. I think he wants is Gervonta Davis. That's what that was the one. That's what I was getting ready to tell you. That's the other pay-per-view. That's why I said they got a 2 pay-per-view deal. One of those pay-per-view deals will definitely have to be Loma or Josh. They're preserving that other one for Davis or outside or Haney. You know what I'm saying? It's going to be an outside fight. That's what I was saying.
Well, I got Tio knocking out Ring's guy, and Ring is gonna hate that.
Who?
Haney.
Bro, why don't you get the fuck out of here with that boy? Like,
I'm dead. I'm dead serious. This not even trolling.
I'm not going to do this with you because you know Devin's jab, or a lot of it, it won't work with Devin's jab.
It won't work. It won't work. Okay, so were you saying this when Loma fought him?
Who Lopez?
Tio. Yeah.
I don't know what you mean though. Like, I don't
were
know
you saying that a lot of the stuff that Teopium does best? Were you saying a lot of the things Teopium does best is gonna? Go ahead.
This is what I'm. All right, like when I think about the Loma fight, which to me is just completely different from the Haney fight because Haney's an orthodox fighter. Loma's a southpaw. The main thing that I thought would happen didn't happen until the second half of the fight. Loma didn't throw, bro. I don't think any of us thought. Like, I don't know. I won't speak for nobody, but I had no idea this man is going to start this fight off by not throwing. The first 5 rounds, the dude didn't throw, bro.
Yeah, and look in the Loma and Tio fight, what Tio did in that fight in the second half, while Loma was catching him with combinations, he controlled Loma, clinching. Yeah. Now, if Loma can make the adjustment and get around that shit, Teos losing that fucking fight.
No, I'll tell you what, and I'm not a Loma lover or all that bullshit, and I'm not. But if this guy beats Comey, if he beats him, and they do a rematch, Loma's gonna win. That's how I feel in my gut. That's
And
how I feel in my gut.
Loma's
This
Loma's
is a
looking like
different
he wanna
Loma.
catch a bug.
hmm
Loma
I
looking
don't know,
like he wants
man.
to
Like
kill a
maybe
motherfucker.
Loma talked to the Ukrainian boxing gods, and they gave him the Spirit Dragon Balls, the Spirit Dragon Ball Z balls.
I'm gonna be honest though. Go ahead, finish it. Finish it
No,
though.
no, 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 go ahead.
I'm gonna be honest though. Do I admit that Teofimo is avoiding the fight and he's probably concerned about Haney? Yes, I can admit that wholeheartedly. But my
I
God,
think
like,
he's
do you see how?
concerned about Loma. I think he's concerned about Loma. It doesn't make sense, Battle. Why you still at lightweight? Why? For George?
He wants to ride the tails of that stupid undisputed so-called title. Like, get man, whatever, man. Like, anyway, you could have.
Pish Tosh. Money talks and bullshit walks. Now, you know damn good and well there's good money for you in the rematch. If you fought him, it's common sense to me. I fought this dude last year in a bubble on a regular ESPN fight. This year, what they telling me is I could fight his ass again for more money with gate revenue. If I say no, it has to be because I'm nervous. Because I'm like, bro, I beat you already. I'll beat you again for more money.
Bro, here's the thing, though. It's like what you said before, Ring. He thought he had a high stock value when he didn't. You remember how much stuff he was ready to talk about Bob Bammer as soon as he was about to get the Triller deal. And then what happened? He's like, okay, hold up. Now I got to get my stock back on track. Now I got to call out Devin Haney, even though I really don't want to fight Haney. And then I got to talk about Josh Taylor. Bro, like you kind of like you made a very bad prediction. It's like you ever play like that polo? You ever play polo? It's like somebody like winding up for a big swing and it goes like 2 inches. Like that. That's exactly what happened.
I'm just saying, Teofimo has put himself in a situation where after George, it has to be a killer. It has to be somebody. It got to be Devin, or it got to be Loma, or it got to be Josh, or it got to be Davis. But ain't no more Georges. There's no more Georges.
Right, and right now they're lobbying on the low. They're lobbying for Davis.
Yep,
they are. That's the fight that they want right now, and that's the fight that they actually have to happen because you know what? They know everybody in boxing though. Once Davis get that Super WBA, it's over. They're gonna milk that shit. It's gonna be. This is going to be the end-all, be-all fighter, and nobody want to hear that shit, man, because it's not going to be real.
So let me ask you a question. How does Teofimo get the fight then?
Purse bid.
What fight?
Come on.
No,
I don't think they're going to go for that.
It's got to be.
I don't think they're going to go for that.
No, I'm gonna tell. Look, this is what I mean. Battle. They're gonna put Davis on the spot. What they're gonna do?
Right.
You got 48 hours after the Cruz fight, if he wins, to make a decision. I believe that Davis will hang on to the lightweight version of the WBA, at which point, because the WBA is under pressure from the Alphabet Commission, they're going to order a fight shortly after that between Davis and Lopez. Now, if you walk away from that order, your PR is going to take a real bad hit because that's a fight that people want. I'll buy that fucking fight. I might buy you the fight, Battle. Shit. I want the fight. Right?
Yeah, but I think
let me tell you something, though. Hold up. Real quick, the reason why he don't want the 140 is, you know, who's going to be the mandatory for that WBA that he'll have to fight if he keeps the 140.
Matias?
Aha.
The plot thickens. The plot thickens.
Don't want exactly.
Well, here's my thing.
And then you got not only that, you got Matias, you got Antoine. And then Brandon Lee is on the WBC,
right,
so that's not going to happen.
So
you got Russell and you got Matias.
But I mean, I already knew, like, yo, Davis not going to hang on to that 40 because Josh, Reed,
it's too many. It's way too many killers at 140.
Bro, like we got to be honest though. A lot of these fighters want to set their schedules to their own liking, and they're very arrogant about it. So the thing is, I think if push comes to shove, even if they really said, "Bro, you're going to get stripped," he probably gonna be like, "I don't care. This belt doesn't define me," because
All right.
we already know
Battle, you're
Javante
not wrong.
Davis.
Battle, you're not
Well,
wrong. This is the
but
problem.
that's not gonna work
If
though.
the sex, this is another thing that we're not talking about. The sex booty scandal with Rolly roll on deodorant. If he go to jail, he's not on the table for David. Now, if he don't go to jail, they revisit the fight. Like if they could get home, all them girls to settle out of court, throw him a couple $100,000, like, here, chill out, go buy yourself something nice. If it don't go away though, and roll on deodorant, go to jail. All right, who does Davis fight after that, bro? Who? There's nobody left.
Lewis Neri.
What are you, Al?
Bro, he can't fight Lewis Theory at lightweight, bro. That's crazy.
No, bro, with Javante Davis, anything is pop. Bro, listen here, bro.
I thought
Lewis Neri, anything possible. Lewis Neri, Ray Vargas.
He might fight Gary Russell.
Bro,
come on, man, stop it.
Bro, come on, bro.
Stop it, man. You need to stop it. You need to stop it.
I'm not even joking.
You joking right now? Now you trolling.
No. I'm saying, no. Wait a minute.
Stop it.
What about Mixayo? Because Gary got to fight the Manny Pacquiao fighter. They got a Manny Pacquiao fighter that he got to fight, and he's not a little featherweight. And I'm looking at this shit. I'm like, yo, Gary hasn't fought since February, of last year.
This is crazy.
And look at where we are right now. We like 2-3 months from February of next year. That's close to 2 years. So you ain't fought in damn near 2 years, and you about to fight a big ass featherweight. I don't know, B. Like something might happen. Like I don't know.
Man, that's just crazy. But
go ahead.
Slim, you not gonna ever see that fight. You never gonna see Fat Boy in a situation like that. You never gonna see it.
Bro, like looking at how Javante Davis moves, he likes to talk a lot of stuff that ain't true, and like you can tell, he just has a troll mentality. So I don't put it past him for him to be saying some stupid stuff like, bro, like Teopium is not the real undisputed I am, even when you haven't really shown it. Like you remember he was going on. You remember he was going on and on about Oh, my phone fell. My bad. Hold up.
Battle,
but you remember?
No, Battle. I know what you mean. That he could deflect on some wild left field deflection, like because he don't care. He has no shame. I get what you're saying, right? But just beyond that, Mayweather Promotion still has to do business. There's nobody left for you to fight, bro. Even with that, you could say that, but who are you going to fight?
Here's my thing, though, Ring. Here's my thing, though, because I want to bring this point up before I get to my next point. You remember? I don't know if y'all remember when Javante Davis was basically slandering Machado every chance he can get. He's saying he's not the real WBC champion. You got my belt or something like that. But here's the thing, though. My thing is, I think Javante Davis is going to be like, bro, I'm not fighting the type of guys that'll prepare me for a Teopium. So I would need to unify with somebody else before Teopium.
My God, there's no
look.
I'm sorry, not unified. I'm sorry, not unified. Defend it. Defend his title.
Battle.
But he doesn't have. But the thing about
against who? Emmanuel to go? Is he gonna fight Gamboa again? Because it's like this.
Probably, bro. Like they will throw a monkey wrench, bro. They will throw a monkey wrench in.
I told you, Lewis Neri.
Bro, they
not Lewis Neri. No, I mean, bro. Like, okay. So
that.
Okay, so let's just look at it for what it is, right? He has the 140 belt. He has the 135 belt. Okay, who is his two mandatories at those weights?
Matias at 40 and at
it'll
35.
Be Matias or Russell at 40, and then Cruz and well, it's got to be Cruz now because he got elevated. Well, it's not Cruz, but technically it was Rolly.
And that was Cruz.
Technically, it was Rolly.
Technically it was Rolly, but Rolly is out of the flop. So if Rolly doesn't fight his final eliminator, then he gets bumped down. So technically now Cruz go up.
And then after Cruz, what you post to order is the winner of Cruz versus Davis versus Lopez. That's what they're going to do. They're going to put him on the spot the way they put Sean and Bud on the spot.
He loses. If Rolly don't fight, he loses his spot. It doesn't matter. They ain't got nothing to do with his situation. He can still fight. That's their fault. They're not putting him up doing it. You know what I mean? But he still has to fight that eliminator.
He stuck between the
I mean,
rock. Look, let me read these
Right.
super chats. Wait, let me read these super chats. Plant running back to Nashville, but the ropes kept him in. I dig it. Random thought. He said he's trying to run back to Tennessee, but he ran into the ropes. I have a feeling Maxime Vlasov and his seemingly frustrating, tricky style is a bit too much too soon for Joshua Buatsi. I got Vlasov. Yeah, me too. I got Vlasov winning that fight. I said that shit the other day. That I don't. They crazy. To me, they crazy putting Joshua Buatsi in that fucking fight.
Yeah, I said that on Twitter. I was like, wait, we can't
I
go
haven't
past.
really. I'm not really impressed by him though. Like, I mean, he looks like he doesn't even look like that big of a light heavyweight.
You talking about Vlasov?
No, the other guy
Joshua.
you just said.
Oh yeah. Buatsi,
Yeah, he doesn't.
Joshua.
He doesn't look like
He
that big of
don't.
a
He don't
heavyweight.
look big. He looked like if he really wanted to, he could make super middleweight.
Right. I don't even think he's all that tall either. How tall is he?
They say he's 6'1", but he don't look 6'1".
Nah,
Yeah,
he
he
don't look
looks.
6'1".
Yeah, exactly. That's my point. He doesn't even
The-
look 6'1".
The thing about Buatsi looks green.
Yes, he does. He looked green with Blavatnik or botulism or whatever his name was. He looked green. He looked green with that
What?
dude.
Bologna.
The dude got a fucked up name. B, the last dude that botulism, blood.
Biloxi.
Isn't that fly? Isn't that like
Oh, yeah.
fly? It means fly or something?
You know, we forgot about one of the biggest things, though. We forgot about something when it came to Fat Boy, and we forgot one of the biggest scammers in boxing is on standby,
Who?
even after he lost.
Thurman.
No, it's Mike Garcia.
That's true.
What?
Yo,
Oh, you talking about that was an
right.
option for him? Yeah.
140, bloated Mikey, pay-per-view. You so right, because he could go to Al and tell Al, look, give me some dead body at 140 so I get a W, and then I'll fight Davis after that.
So that's the other, because that was already an option anyway. That was one of the options that was one of the options before the Sandor Mont joint. But you know what I mean.
No. Actually, because I said that in a video. You reminded me that, like, like he could go to Al. Like, I don't think this is the thing, right? Matchroom is not going to be trying to spend a bunch of M's for the next Mikey Garcia fight. Like, no, you lost.
That's over. That's over.
We gave you 7 last year. We gave you 1.5 this year, and you fucking lost. So we not fucking with you, because every time we try to fuck with you, the shit we want to happen don't happen. You go back to Al and you tell Al, ain't it the truth? They wanted the Pacquiao fight, it didn't happen.
Right.
Then they bring you back. They trying to groom you. They trying to do a Regis fight, and you fuck that up because you lost to Sandlot. The Sandlot. You gonna go to Al at this point, like, Al, if you give me a nice dead body at 140 that I could punch on, I'll fight Davis, and then he ain't got to deal with Lopez. We could fight at Jerry's house. We're gonna get mad people in the fucking building, and we'll do at least 400,000 on pay-per-view.
Mm-hmm. And that's it. And then you already know, Lenny and Floyd already plotting. We don't need no belts. This the biggest fight, even though most people thought Mikey won that fight. You know how they want to twist and turn.
I mean, at the same time, we being honest, they don't. They don't need a belt. Like,
they don't.
Like,
no, I agree. They don't. And I like that. I still like that fight. I don't have a problem with that fight, to be quite honest, because I know what it is, and you know, it is what it's going to be. And I don't
have a problem with that fight on principle. Like it's so much guys you could have just fought already.
Right. But that's a fight I called for a couple years ago, so it's cool. I'm
gonna tell you what. At this point, if Davis knock him out. That'd be so fucking funny, because then it's gonna look bad for Spence. Like, so hold on, wait a minute. Davis from 30 that moved up to 35 and 40, he knocked out Mikey, but Errol didn't. And Errol is the this is well, B.
It's not gonna matter much. He's probably gonna be no, think about it. It's really not gonna matter much, because by that time, like, at this point, Errol Spence probably got 2 more fights in his career left anyway. So, like, what point? Like, what is it really going to matter, though?
Bro, Errol is gonna go raise horses in about 2-3 years time. Like, I don't see this dude sticking around for another 3 years.
Yellow Beezy groupie and Yellow Beezy bodyguard or some shit.
Yeah, like
yeah, bro. He might start up his own winery or something.
Yeah, like
So,
nah, but I mean, I ain't mad at that because look at Danny, right? Like we say a lot of bad shit about Danny and shit, right? But Danny buying property in Florida and he going to launder drug money through the properties. I'm proud of him. Like I'm
Danny
happy
got a
for him.
mansion. Did you see his mansion?
Yeah,
hey, I
it's,
mean, yeah, that's
yo,
cool. All
he
that's
doing
cool, but
good.
that don't help me as a boxing fan. So that's
Nah,
why
it
I
Right.
don't
I
don't.
mean, that's a
even.
good point. That's
So
a good
I don't
point.
even give a damn. Like that's cool. Then cool. I'd rather him not even have. I was like, cool. You don't need the money. Then drop the belts, man. The motherfuckers who really want a war with it. You
I
know.
just
I
really
mean,
want to
Right.
see. Really, as a
yeah.
boxing fan, I'm not gonna lie to y'all. If Danny go his whole career and don't get knocked out, I'm gonna be very upset. I
Why?
am.
What?
Because he's not that good, bro. And I
No,
want
he's
to.
not.
He's not
But he
that
has a
good.
chin though. Like that is
No,
what
he don't, bro.
He
he
Like,
don't
don't.
have a chin. Are you
bro,
guys serious?
you don't want
I've
to.
seen
Whoa,
Danny stumbled a few
whoa.
times. I've seen
Bro,
you just
Thurman
gotta sit.
hurt him. Thurman
Yeah.
hurt him in that
And,
first
Thurman
round.
hurts
He hurt.
everybody.
I'm just
Thurman
saying.
can punch.
and then we already seen, and whether people want to believe it or not, amid card that lightning speed was having
Giving him
him
the business. He's
I
giving
giving
him
think
him
the only
fits.
all
time
the
I
work.
think the only time person who wasn't really hurt was that Chavez guy. Like what was it? I think it was the
Diego
early part.
Chavez.
Yeah,
Diego.
like okay, there was a headbutt maybe. I don't know if you can really count that, but
Bro,
like,
you don't want battle. You don't
And
want to
then
see Boots knock him out?
I do. But here's the thing though. Here's the thing. I don't think it would happen. I think more
Nah,
so it
it'll
would
happen.
probably.
It'll happen. It'll happen.
it
Man,
won't be
I don't know,
boots.
man.
It
Danny
won't be
Garcia.
boots. It won't be boots.
Who
It'll
would
be
it be?
The
Virgil.
fight
Would
that
it be a
needs to
one?
be
It'll
It'll be
be
Tony
in
Virgil.
Harrison.
Puerto
No,
Rico,
it'll be
Puerto
Virgil.
Rico
It'll be Virgil.
versus Mexico, and the Puerto Rico versus Mexico brawl for it all. Puerto Rico, I ain't gonna lie to you. Puerto Rico been taking a lot of L's, man. Josue got knocked the fuck out. You know what I'm saying?
That's my man too. I like
Man, you
him.
still got 168. Nice haircut. What's his name?
Who?
Edgar.
Yo, I mean, look, Edgar got a good barb. I ain't even gonna lie, but he got a Danny Garcia thing. He got hair on his forehead, bro. Like, where do these guys get these fucking? He has hair on the front of his head. Like, bro, you have a hair helmet. That's not a hair line. That's a protective coating to
Yeah.
protect you from impure Dominican thoughts. Because we neighbors, Puerto Rico and the
Hold up.
Dominican and Puerto and
He
Dominican
said
Republic.
he said he coming back in early the headline. I wonder who he gonna headline against though.
I mean, he not look that Coceres fight that told me what I need to know. I ain't even going. I'm not going to say nothing bad, but I'm like, bro, if you can't look good with Coceres, I don't know what to say, yo.
Yeah, like I mean, that's my whole point. I'm getting at. Like I want to really see who he gonna headline with.
Like to me, that showed me that a guy like Ellis could probably hurt him. You know what I'm saying? Ronald Ellis probably hurt him. Romer Angulo could probably hurt him because Coceres dropped you, bro. And Coceres is not a puncher. And the fight, remember, Coceres was on the balls of his feet, back on the ropes, moving away. So if you got dropped while the dude is moving away, what happens if the dude come forward? If you in there with a live one that wants to come forward, probably gonna get knocked out.
Yeah, but sometimes, man, these jokers be believing the hype, and sometimes the training be off. So maybe that humbled them a little bit. So it's a lot of little different things. But I didn't expect that fight to go like that, though.
That shit was a bad fight. My favorite fight of the card was Kovnowski and Hellenius. I was having too much fun with that fight. Too much fun with that fight. Because he really do look like a big baby though. Like Kovnowski, he looked like
With a beard.
Yeah, like, but and it's funny as shit watching him get punched in his face. Like, the dude, I was swole after the first round. Like, look, he got jumped. Like, yo, dog, like that's wild, man. Anyway,
hey, speaking of Puerto Rico, you know what fight I'm really, really looking forward to on the 20th. Boy, I'm gonna be bright and early up in that motherfucker. My man Dog Boy Isaac and motherfucking Chris, dog. Oh my God.
Yo, I don't see this is
that
thing, right?
shit right there.
Listen, Dog Bay, I think Dog Bay hit harder than Pitufo, but Pitufo is tougher. But then again, Dog Bay is like, yo, he really got the shit beat out of him with Navarrete, but he didn't give up. He
Yeah, like,
didn't give up. He kept fighting. I don't know who's gonna win that.
that shit gonna be wild. I can't wait to get up in there to see that shit. Oh, whew.
I don't like. I legitimately like. I might not even try to predict because that's like your dog. I don't know which one of these two motherfuckers is tougher than the other. That's what the fight is for. I don't know.
telling
Like, I don't know, B. The only thing did Pitufo fight since he fought Navarrete though? Did we see? Because I didn't see him fight after that.
Yeah, he fought which oh no.
He didn't, right? So I'm like, yo, if you coming off of that Navarrete fight to this shit to another, like, they really
But
making
then
you.
you gotta look. Dogboy didn't have he had a lackluster performance too his last fight.
Nah, he started off strong, and Adam came back in a half, but it wasn't one way. It wasn't one way. It was a tale of two halves, that fight. Like you could have swung at the Lopez. You could have.
Yeah,
But
that's what I said. It wasn't like, you know what I mean. So yeah, but that's a damn good fight, man. I can't, man. I'm telling you,
that fucking fight. What undercard is that fight for?
the Crawford.
Oh,
That's why I said I'm gonna be in that
Oh,
motherfucker bright and early.
Woo, it's gonna be a good card, son.
What you talking about, Rennie?
That's the motherfucking Crawford, the Diaz versus Dog Bay fight, right?
Yeah.
That's for the undercard of Crawford Porter.
Yeah.
Ooh.
Good ass fight. Well, look, man, I'm fucking old and I want to go to sleep. So always
Yeah.
pleasure.
I can do. Yeah, I'm about to get this dinner, man. That shit been on the. Oh man, I gotta heat that thing up. All right, I'll check y'all later, man. You always know. It's a pleasure, man.
All right.